Gav's in the house. This is a Mill Road Studios production. With Mr. Gav Payne. Rum, pum, pum, pum. G'day, Mr. Gav.
Ash, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. It's Friday afternoon and we're having a podcast together and I couldn't be happier.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I do like that intro. Listen to a few of your podcasts and it gets me every time. Thanks for having me. I don't know if this is going to be a real popular one. Gavin's got something to say or no one wants to listen, so we'll see how it goes.
I think there's a good audience base now, mate. I'm sure they're all happy to listen to anybody. So welcome here, mate. It's your first time on the podcast, so thank you for coming. It's all about talking and having a bit of time out from the busy week. So how's your week gone? You've had a busy one?
Yes, we've had a very busy one. Started with a big day Monday work-wise. All black cars and do a bit of polishing, so we'll get into that a bit later. But
can't wait to hear it.
Then board meeting Monday night.
And that's up the baseball club?
Yeah, that's baseball. So, board meeting and got stuck into work again, big day on Tuesday. Then back at the baseball club checking off for equipment with Rob Walsh.
Good boy, Robbie. Good boy. Yes. Next year, mate. Next year.
He's a great help. So, and Wednesday night and Thursday night we're working to 10 o'clock. So, yeah, big days.
Makes a long week, doesn't it?
Yes.
By the time you get to Friday, you're looking for a bit of time out. And what are you doing for work?
We have a niche business. We work in between what people see as traditional detailing and what the painters do. So we're just dealing with the paintwork on cars, paint correction.
Crash stuff or new stuff? Or
mainly for dealers, so new and used cars. We do quite a bit of new cars. They come in with some damage. You get particles that stick to the paintwork. You've got to remove that, polish the car up. Sometimes they come in with sanding marks, buff marks. Get knocked around a little bit and go through a lot of hands. By the time they leave the factory, get on the boat, come across, there's multiple people dealing with the cars, moving the cars, and by the time they get to the dealership,
they got a little bit of wear and tear on them already.
They do sometimes, yes.
Those guys that remove the cars off the trailers are pretty good, aren't they? Good.
Oh yes, seeing them reverse into traffic and get the cars off and around, they're pretty good.
It's a ballsy job, isn't it? And some of those cars are pretty expensive, and they're not to have a even scratch underneath them or anything. So they got some responsibility. I hope they get paid well.
Oh, I don't know about that. That's it's definitely a different type of business to what we deal with. We see them, and but we just get what's in front of us and get on to the next one as quick as we can. So
yeah, righto. So that's for a few mobs or just one mob, or you go around to everybody?
We mainly deal with the dealerships.
Yep.
And don't have too much time for the private work.
For the retail stuff, yep.
The dealers know what we can do, what we can't do, although there's a number of times you'd say, no, it needs to go to the paint shop. Just do what you can. Just do what you can.
You've been doing that a long time, as long as I've known you anyway. So.
It's 22 years now, so yes, it's quite a while, starting from scratch. The cars changed, the paint's changed, the products we use have changed. So everything that we started with is now
obsolete.
Obsolete, yeah.
Yeah, right. Did you start from school, or what did you do when you left school?
No, I worked for Kmart. I was following my dad's footsteps.
Yep.
He done some managing, yes, loss prevention, merchandising. I was following in his footsteps, doing management course. And with what he did, we moved around country a fair bit. We had a number of houses. I think I'm up to 20 houses now. Changed schools. I went to 7 different schools, but changed schools 8 times. So yes, through South Australia, some country areas, and New South Wales.
Yeah, righto. How did you get wound up in the paint stuff then? What drove you into that?
What drove me into that? 7-day trade in retail and late nights. I decided that was probably enough for me. Jo was pregnant with Michaela at the time, and
Yep.
you start looking at things differently, and you think you needed a change. And I was looking at going into a different field. Then you start thinking, who's going to employ you in a field that you've got no experience? And always wanted to have my own business. And this business opportunity was in the paper, so I made some inquiries and I thought, yeah, I can do that. Interested in cars and the like. So
you register an ABN and get yourself off the ground and start, yeah?
Yes, that's it. Yeah, you do your training and you don't realise sort of how under-trained you are when you go out there. You try not to make too many mistakes. I think that's part of the detailing. It's testing and trying and find out what works, because not everything. You've got to adjust what you do for different vehicles, whether it's the same manufacturer or different manufacturer. It's there's not one polish and one pad to use on a machine.
Not one fits all.
Yeah, that's right. And it's testing and adjusting and to get the result that you want.
Yeah, it's a lot of knowledge, isn't it? It's a lot of. I suppose it's all lead-free paint now as well. Maybe when you started, maybe even the lead was gone then, was it?
Yeah, the lead was gone. Acrylic paints. So you think when I started, the AU Falcon and VN Commodores were new out of the factory.
Yeah.
And sometimes you could just repair, say, a top part of a door, but now the panels are just one big panel. There's not a divider or a bump strip down the side or anything like that. So
yeah,
and all the SUVs and so the cars are getting bigger and bigger. So yes,
it's pretty crazy, isn't it? My father-in-law, he was a motor trimmer in the city on Halifax Street, and I forget now what that company's called. Lawrence, maybe C.R. Lawrence, or anyway, they're on a Halifax Street near King William Street, and he was in there for most of his work life. He was a machinist in there, and he'd pull out all the seats and find all the dollar coins behind, where all the pocket money fell out of the pockets. I think that used to buy his beer at the Mobbery on the way home. But it's pretty good stuff. I started at Motor Traders myself.
Okay.
When I left school in '85, and I picked a job up in Wakefield Street at the big show, or in the big office in there, the big factory in there on Wakefield Street, and I was there for about 3 months, I think, picking and doing all that sort of gear, riding a bike around the city and delivering to Southcots, and if they needed bits and pieces, spare parts and all that, I'd put them in the bike and ride them around the corner and drop them off to the engine mob, and got to start somewhere, don't you?
Yeah, you definitely got to start somewhere, yes.
But it was good, and I know after 3 months, because there was Holden Hill had a shop here as well, because that was prior to. There was still the place down on Bridge Road. What was that called? The servo that burnt down there? Something Brothers or.
Yes.
What were they called? They were down at Para Hills West there, and that was one of the big mobs that sold car accessories.
Yes.
And I should know. That probably hasn't come into my brain for 25 years either.
Yeah, that's been a while since that's gone.
But they were a big deal at that stage. Like they had the big part of the market there, and that's before all the auto traders come in like they are now. There's 1 trillion of them, especially around Bathurst time. They all come out of the closet. But yeah, no, I was going to end up going that way, and it was just my brother picked up a drafting job with Clarkson's down at Royal Park there, which was a glazing company, and they wanted someone to do the detailing for all the buildings. So, and they were still hand drawing back then. It was prior to the computers coming in, and I picked a job up down there, and hence that's where the glazing came from. I think. Oh, yeah, the Rex Files was over there. Rex Gleason, he was the big boss there. I think he was there for 50 years or something. So he's dead now. Rest in pieces. But no, it's amazing, isn't it? You know, you start somewhere and somehow doors open up, and you know, you sort of leave school at 85, and you don't know much. You know, you really don't. And then all of a sudden, something opens up, and you go down that path for a while, and some people stay there forever. Some people change direction. You don't know, do you?
You don't know, yes.
Unless there's something specifically you wanted to do when you left school, and I didn't. You know, my older brother knew he was going to build high-rise buildings in the city. You know, that was part of the drafting, and he's now construction manager for one of the big builders in the city there, and he knew what he wanted, set his life up, and, you know, good on him.
Yeah, I didn't know what I wanted to do when I left school. And
I still don't know at 56, mate. But it's, yeah, once again, you know, something comes along, and if it pays okay, if it keeps the wolves away from the door.
Well, we haven't done too bad. You know, to be in business for 22 years is pretty good these days. And,
you don't get many sick days, do you?
No,
That's
very few sick days and very few holidays. It's probably been 10 years since I've had a holiday. And, but it's allowed me to take the kids to school and work around picking them up from dance or go to their concerts or different things. So being able to work that most of the time.
Good. Yeah, we started in 1992, so I think I've had a day and a half off with sick leave over all that time as well. I think it got to around 2016, and I must have been bitching a fair bit, and that would have been baseball. You know, I was up here because I started in Woodville down back then, 2010 or 11, the second time around, and I must have been cursing a little bit. The daughter and son bought us a ticket to Singapore, and we had a couple of friends, Matt and Kerry, over there that were working for a big company over there that had moved around the country quite a bit, or the planet, and ended up in Singapore. So they surprised us, got us tickets there, and that was sort of the start of it, 2016. So last 8 years we've done a bit, and gone to the States a couple of times, and Singapore, and now we got the Europe trip. So might be the big one now.
Yes.
The biggest one, I think, to go and see that side of the Europe side, because I got no idea what I'm about to go into.
Well, that's good. I wish we could, had done more travel. You're sort of afraid to step away from your own business. You know, there's competitors out there. They want to come in and take your work, and they're always looking for someone cheaper and things like that. But I was lucky enough. We did go to Europe for our honeymoon, and
oh, good.
Yes, it was.
Where'd you go over there?
We started off in Rome, and we went to...
Did you do as the Romans do?
What are you referring to?
In Rome, do as the Romans do. Yep.
Yeah. Rome and Venice, and then we went to Hungary, Prague, there, and Austria, Germany. That's a beautiful country there. That was really nice.
How long did you go for?
Come on, this is a while back. Come on.
Doesn't matter, mate.
I'm going to say
3 to
3
4
weeks.
weeks.
Yeah, somewhere in there. Yeah.
Yeah, good. No, it's we land in Rome there as well, so you can see the Qatar one come over every couple of days there, and I think, oh God, I'll be on that thing again in a week or so. So yeah, Rome, it'll be all new. Is it hot over there? Is it a different sun to what we've got here?
It was October, and again, we're
starting to cool off a little bit.
Yes, it would have been.
I think they.
I don't remember it being cold or anything like that, and I think we went at it was a good time. A good time of year to go.
Did you get to London?
Yes.
Yeah. Heathrow.
So we stayed with Joe's brother and sister-in-law in London, and got to see that part of the world. yeah, it was, and that was right near the Thames and Greenwich, and yeah, there's so many things you want to see, but it was just full on, like loaded with everything you wanted to do. We couldn't do much more really. So it was, you look at different parts of history and some of the modern stuff, and
it's pretty old, isn't it, compared to Australia?
Oh yes, many times over. So yeah, it's good.
No, I'm looking forward to it. It's my daughter's over there in London, so as you know, I've had 2 overseas. I was going to touch base with that next, with Michaela being away as a parent with children overseas. It's a little bit different, isn't it?
Yes, I'm so happy that she's done something like this, that she's taken that step. You know, I thought about doing something when I was younger, but didn't actually go to the US to do one of these camps. And yeah, she's in Canada and really enjoying that at the moment. There's been different activities and just seeing a different part of the world. It's really good.
Whereabouts in Canada is she? She on the east coast, isn't she?
Just north of Toronto.
Yep.
And Camp Winnebago, and it's on a lake, and her role over there has been to do the kayaking or the canoeing actually, and been taking the campers away for 1 night to 4 nights depending on their age group, and setting up camp.
What a place! What a place! What an opportunity to go and see all that. She'll come back different. She'll come back a more older person. I think they always seem to grow up when they stand on their own 2 legs on their own and make choices. And you know, it's sad in a way because you're saying goodbye to the baby, but you're saying hello to the new woman. You know,
yes.
And she'll certainly grow from it. You know, there's times where I remember Caitlin going to the Boston Stadium there. There was a Boston Yankees game or something. She was walking out the front and I couldn't talk to her. I was that emotional, you know, and I said, you know, try to get in there, you know. And she said, Dad, are you there? And I said, yes, I'm there. But, you know, it's one of those things, you know, you're glad they're over there. You're glad they're seeing the world and growing up and seeing the stuff that we didn't see at that age, you know.
Yeah, you want to be there for them. There was a couple of hiccups on the way over with her visa, not being able to work, so she had to fly out of the country and then make her way back in. A bit of difference in culture within the camp. They seem to be a little bit behind the time. A bit of difference between the locals and the internationals and between the boys and girls. So the role that Michaela has done this year has been done by the boys in the past. And there was a few people, from my understanding, there was a few people that didn't think that the girls could do the job, but
they could do it better. That was what they were worried about.
Well, possibly, but yeah. I was confident in that Michaela could overcome that. And yeah, she's been carrying the canoe for like 3 kilometres to get from one side of the lake to across an island.
She's an expendable girl, so she'd be fairly strong, I'm sure.
Yes. Yeah, no, good on her. And she's done a pretty good job in staying in contact with us. It's not just a matter of picking up the phone. It's a timing issue and a location issue for her when she can do that. And she's managed to ring me at decent times, so it's been good.
Is that a 13-week expedition for her, or?
Oh, I haven't done the number of weeks.
No, I think they're roughly. My daughter Caitlin, she went to Pennsylvania and did the US camp there, and that was roughly 13 weeks to do that.
Yeah, that sounds about right. 13 to 15 weeks, and then she's on over there for another 4 to 6 weeks before she makes her way down to Miami and a Kentucky tour across the lower part of the states, Texas.
Is there other girls going from the camp with her, or is she?
No, she's on her own there, or she'll make new friends, and she is considering going back next year. She's had It didn't sound like that at the start, but come the end of the camp, there's a few of them talking about going there again next year.
Oh, good.
So it couldn't have been too bad for her.
No, well, once again, I think that's the process. I think where that growing up comes from, where early on it's all new, and there's a few issues that come through, and maybe you get a bit of up and downs with it all, and then you package it up and say, move on, let's go into the next stage, and boom, 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 you're making choices and doing all your canoe work and rah-rah with people, and after a while it becomes second nature. She's obviously at that stage now that she's confident making choices, and she's a smart girl. She's a beauty. We love her to pieces as well. So
and she gets to do some of the camp activities at the moment. There's not campers there, and so yeah, she's been on a horse, and I know she's doing a lot of cleaning at the moment, but
I know she's glad you're here for sure. I know that.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a push to get Dad behind the mic.
Oh, it's pretty easy in the end. I think it was good, Gav, that you got the opportunity. It's been a full-on week as well, so I understand.
Yeah, I don't know if it was the best week to do it, but it's you're going away, and it's a good opportunity with Father's Day, and so happy Father's Day to those fathers out there, and then
good call.
Just in time for Michaela's birthday, so this can be a bit of a present for her.
What's she, September what?
6th.
Yeah, righto. Cool.
So yeah, next week.
She's a Virgo. Is she a Virgo?
I haven't done into those.
I think no, me either. Me and Joe are Virgos, so I know it's late August, early September. So I'd say that's why her nature's so good. That's what I say anyway.
That's probably enough about Michaela anyway, I think, isn't it?
No, that's good. No, that's excellent. But not only has she done it, but she sounds like she's doing very well with it. So
she rang me this morning and dropped a few hints about talk about this, talk about that.
And how's young Elliot going? Is he dealing with the cyst gone, or once again that gives him another opportunity? More so, you get a bit more one-on-one with you as well. So for his development as well, it is a good thing that he hasn't got another sister there that's not only doting on him. He gets to now man up with you, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah, we spend the weekends together. The situation's changed at home, and yes, I have him every weekend, and see him grow. I take him to school most mornings as well. Pupil free day today and Monday apparently. So, but I've been in touch with him today. He sent me a message. Some plumbing issues, so they want me to fix that. A couple of leaking tap and a broken tap apparently. So I sent him a message back. Do you know how to fix it? So that's something a father's got to do, is start teaching his son to fix some of these issues. So they're not useless when they leave home.
Oh, that's right. They need those skills. He's starting to grow into his legs too. I can see he's starting to move.
He's shooting up, yes.
How old is he now? 12, 13, something like
He's 13, and he's playing baseball, so he's moving into under 15s, and you start talking at that age, and he's shooting up. He's getting bigger. And
yeah, you can see it. I saw him last weekend or the weekend before, or both. So, no, that was good to catch him up. He got a nice little smile on his face, and I know Pete loves him to death, which is pretty cool. So,
yeah, he's a good kid. He's not trouble for us at all.
No, he's good. He's good.
He's good, yes.
Excellent. And Winter Bull's just finished. We've had another season of Winter Bull.
I'll just pull you up there. Some people don't know, but there is another daughter. I better say hello to Jacinta.
I beg your pardon. I didn't know either.
Well, there we go.
I'm learning. I've only seen two of them.
Yeah, well, Michaela's the oldest, and then Jacinta's a couple of years younger than Michaela, and she's quiet, stays at home a fair bit, but she has helped out at the club in the canteen, and possibly doing it again this year. But she is very quiet. She's at uni studying journalism.
All right, one of my topics. I love that topic. How good's that? That's what made her get in, for a quiet person, what made her get into journalism?
It's probably not so much the journalism side of it. It'd be the writing, the creativity in that side of it, and
Facts in regards to information,
facts.
detail.
The way the media works is it's not just TV and newspaper now like it used to be when we were growing
It's
up.
all digital now, isn't it?
Digital. You've got your podcasts and your social media and things like that. So
If I left school again, I think I'd go down that route as well.
yeah,
I really would.
I'd consider it. There's lots of different opportunities, and one of my brothers was doing videography. He was filming weddings, and then he got to do some training videos for different corporations. But there's always someone out there that wants to do it cheaper, and they think they know what they're doing. So
I remember the year of Living Dangerously with Mel Gibson when they did that one over in it was in Asia somewhere, and we used to mimic that all the time as kids. You know, it was I'm Guy Hamilton in Jakarta for whatever news station he was, but you know that was cool. That was in our time when we were growing up. We used to love that sort of stuff. But you know, if I had my time again, I reckon I'd go down that track and try to go overseas and do media.
yeah,
It's all pretty good. You know, this has sort of come late, really, but the amount that you get to learn about somebody with the one-on-one it's fantastic. You know, I didn't know you had another daughter.
yeah. Well, probably something else you didn't know is I had another son. 2008, we had Aiden, and got a phone call from Joe in hysterics. I was at home trying to make the house presentable for when she got home, and a distress call to go back to the hospital, and Aiden was into day 4 and passed away. He had the opposite of diabetes, so his body just kept producing insulin and hadn't got back to his birth weight. And so I made a mad dash to the hospital at 10, 11 o'clock at night and rushed in, went straight to the room. But you go past the nursery and you see all these doctors and nurses in there, but you don't pay too much attention. It's just straight to the room to find out what's going on. And
How was he infant, very young, or?
oh yeah, 4 days. It was,
Okay.
yes. So newborn. And
It's always a stressful time, isn't it?
yes, born with a good body weight, and after the autopsy, you find out that all his organs were good size or just slightly above average. But that's a tough time. It changes everyone.
Of course it does.
Yeah,
We had a little girl called Jess White. She was stillborn, and we slept with her that night, and she was our first. Mandy gets this condition called cholestasis, and the pancreas, whatever, makes all this bile salt, and all the obs are good to 30 weeks. Once it goes past there, it goes, and she was itchy, and she had this liver pain. I thought it was the foot, but it wasn't the foot at all. So we nearly lost Caitlin. We nearly lost Reese. We took Reese at 32 weeks and put him on caffeine for 8 weeks, and he was way early, and Caitlin, we're about a day from losing her. So it was a fucking struggle to get one, let alone what we've got now.
Yes.
We're lucky to have any, thank God. And, you go from hero to zero very quickly, and you've got a birth certificate and death certificate within 24 hours. It's your emotions are all whacked out. Your wife's breasts are still wanting to make milk. You haven't got a baby. You haven't got something, so you've got to put her in a straitjacket and pull the rope back and tighten her up. Terrible time.
Yes,
Terrible time.
Yes, it wasn't good. And Jo took some time off work. She was entitled to maternity leave, and the way some people sort of behave, they expected her back at work, and no sympathy or anything like that. It was just shocking.
There's no rule book on it.
No, there's not.
There's information if you look at it, but there's a lot of, not one fits all. You know what I mean? That's you put it in the same category as your paintwork or your glass. You know, like some people deal with stuff better than others. Not one decision is right for everybody. You know, you need time to deal with, and you've got all those hormones that are going crazy because you've just had a baby as well. You got to let all that sort of stuff. You know, you're 6 weeks before any of that sort of calms down at worst.
Yes, yeah.
So you know, if you take off 3, 6 months, 12 months, we'll never go back. You know, until you've been through it, you don't really know the downs of it because it is pretty heavy. And you know, as a dad as well, you've got to deal with it. You can't help them at the time, and your own mental health with it as well was that I found that there were songs or there were smells that would just make you cry. You know, I just got emotional and it was horrible. You know, there'd be stuff that would set you off. And I remember driving down the freeway one day and a song come on and I was fucked up, seriously fucked up.
Yes.
So I just went straight down the parade, bought a little cordless radio. I still had my work to do, you know, like still had to go and fit fucking whatever I wasn't interested in, and took an hour or so off and got myself back together and dealt with it as I had to deal with it. Well, it was only me there at the time, and but it, you know, for years and years and years and years, and still to this day, I can't listen to my daughter sing. She's a very good singer, even though now she's not singing in pubs or anything like that. But when she went through all her secondary education, I couldn't physically go in there and listen to her sing, and she was a very good singer because I just cry. It was just horrible. Not horrible as that I couldn't go there. I just didn't want to put myself in that position because it was just so teary for me, you know. And even if I watch The Voice, there's still, you know, there'll be someone singing, like a girl singing, and, you know, I'm sitting in there with Mandy tearing up, you know. It's just, and that's still because of...
You get different emotions, don't you? Sometimes it's the tone or it could be the words and things like that. And I remember just after, it was sometime between Aiden passing and the funeral. The funeral was quite a bit later because of the autopsy. But, yeah, so it was probably just a few days after. You're driving around, your world's come to a halt, a screaming halt, and... You're driving around, you're looking at everyone going around their usual day. You know, life's normal for them, but your life's come to a screaming halt, and you're just trying to adjust, and it's really hard to explain, but just the emotions and the feeling, and but talking to different people, you understand this sort of thing happens more than it should.
There's a lot of babies in the cemetery, mate.
Yeah, there is.
You're surprised that you've only got a 50-year lease. Probably I've only got a 50-year lease on that side, and I've already used up 30.
Oh, wow. Yes.
You know what I mean? So that's pretty crazy. And, you know, yeah, as you said, you know, there's days that are very, very dark, and you've got to push through that. You've still got to represent what you're doing, and, you know, you've got to be of mind, and yeah, it's a difficult time. You know, you don't wish that on anybody. It's a horrible thing. And, you know, you had him for 2 or 3 days, and, you know, we only had her for overnight, but we slept with her all night. And
yes, yeah, we spent the night with Aiden, and, you know, in the morning you make a phone call to your parents, and
that's the hard bit, isn't it?
Ask them to come
ringing everybody.
Ask them to come to the hospital, and yeah, we go into a separate room and private room and explain what had happened. So yeah,
yes, there's lots out there.
I'm still choking up about that now. So.
Yeah, for sure. No, there's lots of. The more you talk about it, there's a lot more people that you come across, you know, older than you and younger than you as well that have gone through it, and there's a lot of babies in the cemetery, mate. That's, you know, they fill up every year, and you go down there and you go, my God, how many more in there now?
Yes, that's right.
That's only one cemetery. She's at Enfield. So yeah.
Well, Aiden's buried at Golden Grove, and he's
Okay, I was going to put Jess up there, and Mandy said, "Don't. You'll be up there too much."
and
I
he's
know that.
buried next to my grandpa.
Fantastic.
Yeah,
In good company.
he's in good company. Yes. Yeah,
Oh,
that was something. There wasn't actually a place next to him. There was a little bit of room, and a phone call was made to the council because it's council run, and less than 24 hours. I think it might have been less than 12 hours. They were back and said, yes, you can be buried there.
oh, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Sometimes when you got the infants and the adults together, there might be a little bit of conflab, but end of the day, a sight's a sight to me, and if he can be next to Grandpa, fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on. That's we won't go too
Sorry,
dark.
that was a bit dark, wasn't it? Yes.
Not at all. That's what it's out there for, mate. This is what this whole thing's all about: is learning. It's listening to people's lives, and it's, as I said, what you learn out of it is just amazing. It's excellent. It's really the best thing I've ever done. Is you see people every day at the club, and you see people at work. Until you sit down one-on-one and actually get eye contact and actually take time out to say, how you going? I'm Ash. G'day, you're Gav. And to do this, it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's been good. I've listened to the podcasts, your early ones, and especially about the baseballers, and you've been at the you see them at the club. Sometimes they're your teammates, and there's things about them you didn't know. So this has been really good.
Well, let's just go back to Winnable. We know Winnable's just finished, and the Red Army got up this year. They the Gawler boys.
Yes, they did. Well done to them. They played the Timber Rattlers, and I was watching from the sidelines and saw that they left a few guys on base, so could have gone either way, and there's only one winner, so yes.
I think grand finals, I said to both sides afterwards as well, they're so hard to win. It's the 1%ers that cost you the game. You make the 1%ers, you generally, you have a look at there was a couple of misfields and just those little things that aren't normally there. Boom, that's one play. Okay, get the next out, but that's one out that could have got out. So 7-3's a 21, you're down to 20 out, you're back to 21 again. You get a few hits, you get caught. They're just dead rubbers, like you get someone to first, to second you think, okay, they're in the scoring position now. 1 out, 2 out, 3 out, boom, gone, back into the dugout. But it was a cool game. It was 2-0 right up to if I remember, somewhere around the bottom of the 5th. So, and the score ended up only 4-2.
4-2, yes. Well done to the Gawler pitchers. They did very well to hold some of those very experienced batters there. And I know when we played Expendables together, we lost the first one in a very close game and a bit of controversy.
Nicer to win, aren't they?
We would have been favourites for that game, and we got pipped at the post.
Yeah, we didn't win it.
And we
should
got there the next year, but that's what we love about the game, isn't it?
Well, as Brooksy said, part of winning's losing, dealing with losing. So it's amazing how often that comes up during the week wherever I am. If you get a bad decision at work or whatever, you say, oh, well, I've got to learn. I should have done this, or, I can do this better and make sure that doesn't happen again. So it is a good kick up the arse for all of us in whatever we endeavour to do. But certainly winners are grinners. It's certainly a lot more fun to win. But part of winning is, they've lost for years as well. I think Bob said 10 years since they'd won, which must have been 2014, was it? The Gawler team?
Got a feeling. Couldn't tell you.
Got a feeling there was 10 years that Bob.
There's quite a few names on that trophy. That trophy's been going for 30 years, I believe, just over 30 years. And
who won it either side of COVID? No one knows. Expendables did. I'll beat you to the post. But that was a good time. Like it started. I I remember I had a year off, and I said to the boys, because Dad had died, Dad got cancer and died in 2014, and I took that year off, and I came back in 2015, and I said, right, I've got this idea. I said, how about we get this team full of old washed up blokes? Let's call them the Expendables. We got a bank account set up. We got some shirts that you did for the very first ones there, and it birthed in 2016. I think the first year we didn't get to any finals. The next one we got to possibly the prelim, or what's one out from the finals, from the grand final.
Semi-final?
Might have been the semi-final. We were up. We were down, but we only had one out, and there was someone on first and third. We got picked off at third and got done at first as well. And all of a sudden it was gone. So we were out again. So we learnt again, in those first 2 years. We lost, and then that next year we got it. Then COVID-19 came in 2020 and blocked it all out. And then we won on the back end of that as well. So
I think you got me by stealth into the team. You approached my daughter to play, and I heard some of the names that were playing in that team.
Some good people through there.
We did, yes. Very enjoyable, and we were there for each other and there for the game. Yes, we did win a lot of games, and I know there was some angst from other teams that were too good, but we weren't there to win everything at all costs. We were there for the enjoyment of the game and playing for each other. So,
and we had the two girls.
Yes.
So the beauty of that as well was that.
Well, happy birthday to Dana. I think that was yesterday.
Yeah, she was. She's the 28th as well. Yeah. She did flick something through.
Oh, happy birthday to you too.
So another one again. They keep adding up, don't they? But it was good to have Dana there and Michaela, and those girls gave such a different environment to us. It was, that 1 year I just helped out to coach with the girls.
Yes.
It is totally different to coaching men, but at times it's better. It's a whole different atmosphere. It's you've got the enthusiasm that's 120%.
Yep.
You don't always get men at 120%. And to see the girls, and they took the knocks. They didn't back off. They were hard as hell, and
those two, yes, they're hard as, and great to have them in that team. But yes, to coach the women, because Michaela had played one season. It was the second year of the women's league, and went from 4 teams to 6 teams, and then just exploded.
Didn't it go bang?
Yes, it did.
Oh, it's fantastic.
And then when it went to the clubs to put a team together, I didn't think there was enough players around the club. I was finding it a bit hard to have our own team, so I actually rang Gola to see whether between the two of us we could get a team together. They already had a team. They'd already managed to get enough players, a few softballers, and so they had enough players. I thought, hang on.
Prepare for landing.
Yes, I can hear that one coming in.
Cross-check doors.
Thinking if they can get a team together, I'm going to get a team together, because they offered Michaela a spot out there. She can come play for her. No, she's not playing for Gawler. She's a Dodger, and so I worked pretty hard to get a team together, and we had 8 on the morning of the first game. We had 9 by game time, with very little experience. But to see the enthusiasm, the passion, the joy, and
I love the passion. I love the passion.
Oh, the passion's great.
It's 120%. It's greater than men.
Yes, keen to learn, keen to play for each other. It's and they're playing for the joy of the game. It is really different to the way the boys play. I'd always wondered if it was the right thing to bring the girls into the club. Being a boy, it was all boys pretty much. And Michaela started T-ball and kept coming through, and got asked a few times, when does Michaela have to stop playing? When she have to go to softball? And no, there's no rules. She can just keep playing. And yeah, she toughed it out, and she got hit more than any other player in the team, and took the knocks, and she knew not to rub the spot as she ran up the line, and yeah,
keep those tears inside, male or female.
Here's one of the things that Michaela wanted me to mention. The first time we had a little throw of a baseball in the front yard, and she did okay to start with, and then she got one on the nose, blood nose. So it was probably a bit wayward of Dad. It wasn't very far, but it was you throwing the shots, and copped her on the nose, but didn't put her off. Probably toughened her up. So,
that's good. Yeah. No, if you sit there and fear it too, then you always worry about it, and you just think there's nothing you can do. You know you're going to get rung up at some stage. Like Pete always got hit. The Stingray was a magnet for it, and
there is some players like that, isn't there? They always seem to get hit. They don't seem to be any closer to plate or anything.
And he got
like
hit,
that.
and he'd say, "Hit me harder, mate." Is that all you got? He was tough as old boots, and. But it's pretty cool. It does hurt. It hurts like hell. But once again, you don't show it.
Depends where you get hit.
I got hit I got hit umpiring on the third ball off the bat on the umpiring game, and there's
behind the plate in the grand final. You're talking?
Yeah, there's still a big lump on that collarbone. So I don't know what that one's about, but it does. Sometimes you can see all the stitching in the ball on your skin.
Yes.
So that's part of the journey, isn't it? It's good fun though.
Yeah, I've had a couple of knocks myself. Not so much in the batter's box. One catching one of the American imports in Div 1, come off the bat and then into the throat.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So
would you lift up slightly, or just the speed of the ball push your head up?
I probably didn't have my chin down, but the ball come up underneath the throat guard. So out of the game and took the day off work next day. And
I still got one of those.
Pitching.
I still got one of those drop downs.
Oh, yeah.
Just in case.
Actually, I think that might have been there. I might have just got the side of it. I can't remember. This is going back a while. So, and also pitching, one come back and got me on the knee and ended up over near first base, but not straight enough to first base to get the out. You get a few bruises out there, but it's all enjoyable.
Good game, isn't it? How long did you play Div 1 for?
I got a couple of seasons in. I know I was on the bench a lot of the time, so there was one season that I was playing Div 2, and then you're always there for Div 1, and I think I got credited with 54 games in that season, so that certainly pushed the numbers up that year. But there was a few, only a few seasons. I was sort of just out of the Div 1 squad a lot of the time. I know I caught a little bit, and also got to pitch in Div 1, so it's not a bad effort.
Oh, good.
Not a bad effort.
I wish at times as you may not know, I started at East Torrens in. Hey, Shaun, come in. How are you, bud? Grab a red can out the fridge.
Where's the fridge here?
Come on, mate. You're that blind or what? Pull the other end.
I'm not blind, I just can't see.
Shaun Evans is in the house. Pull up a chair, dude.
How are we?
Hey,
Yeah,
Shaun,
good.
how you going?
Good. But I started there at East Torrens, I reckon, in about it was before Manny, 1985, so it might have been about 1983, 84, something like that. I might have even been before then, 68, 78, 79, 80. Might have been more like 80, 81, 82. Flabby Abbey was out there, and then they had 5 cousin boys that were playing for Woodville. So we got a clearance down there because it was easier for Mum to take us down there and pick us up. Prepare for landing. Shaun Evans, Mr. Ansett.
Yeah.
And, we played down there until I think I met Mandy in 85. I didn't go much longer after that. And we went surfing for the next 2 decades and, started again at 39, back up at Golden Grove Winterbull, and that was with the Bears. And then, sure enough, from there, it was only a couple of years and we won the grand final in 2013 with the Bears. With Stewie Orson come over and helped us out. And as I said, Dad died 2014, and then that was the birth of the Expendables. So that sort of trilogy started, and that was closed up by 21, I think.
You come across from Woodville with a number of players.
Steve Saunders and Raffy,
Psycho.
Gavin Payne.
No.
Gavin.
That's me.
You didn't come from
Gavin-
Woodville?
What was Gav's name? Raffy. Gav. He flew the Orions. Real fit dude. Gavin doesn't.
Gavin Ainsworth comes to mind, and
No.
Gavin Denton. I can't think of.
Gav.
They've been at the club.
Gavin
Oakley.
Denton was a serious
Gavin
chap.
Oakley.
Gavin
Okay.
Oakley.
Yes. Oh, yes. There we go. Yes.
So I got a 3-way clearance up with that group, and then I went straight into Connery's team there, and that would have been 2011, 12 maybe, around that time.
Yes. He had a pretty strong team at that time, I believe.
Yeah, Joe was still pitching. You still had Lenny. You still had the Davies boys. There was still quite a lot in there, and we were lucky enough to win that year. We won the 2013 GF. That's the GF ring there. So I know Joe got them off a Holden or something out at the Lionsgate there, and
Well, that's something I haven't done. Is won a summer competition.
okay,
Yeah, got a few finals, but that's it.
all right.
Like you say, they're hard to win.
They have,
Oh.
it's 1%ers, isn't it? You just got to be 1% off or 1% on.
The first year I had a senior baseball. Good evening, fellas. Good to see you both.
Good to see you.
Thanks for turning up, Shaun.
Yeah, that's right. I had nothing on. No.
I might have a whiz just as you get here, just to
Yeah,
reload.
sure. No
just let me
worries.
sneak down the side.
I just 91 was my first year of senior baseball, and we win a flag. And so we go and get absolutely as drunk as you like.
That's good to hear.
And our coach said, "Don't get drunk. They're too hard to win. You need to remember what you've achieved."
Yes.
Do you think we listened?
Oh no.
We got absolutely slaughtered, and then I didn't win another one for another 9 years. So
So you say 92?
yeah, so
Oh, sorry, I'm just trying to think back because that's when the club had only just started then, and so yeah, been at the club since day one, and
Wow.
we were doing a little bit beforehand with the a season of Neps and a few seasons of Neba, which got started with those that didn't want to go to another club.
Yep.
And yeah,
so you're one of the originals,
I am one of the originals.
still going too.
Yes, got a few more years left in me yet. I'll,
You might win a flag yet. Well, hopefully get you one.
yes, we'll have to keep working at it, won't we?
Have to get you a flag.
The way you did it last year, how many flags did you get last year? It was quite a few, wasn't it?
Was it 4?
Yeah, so we got 4 last year as a club.
Pulling down the Oregon trusses. We need new trusses.
Yeah, oh, look, it's a bloody good thing to walk in and see a few hanging up.
Yes, and Junior Club of the Year, don't forget that one. It was-
Junior Club of the Year, yes, Andy Weeks. Good evening to him. Yeah, no, look, and it's been a few years in the making, hasn't it? A few years people have been putting in hard work, so I think we're now seeing the results of that.
Yes, yeah, looking forward to this year and the players coming through. I'm hoping we do have a good year, but yeah, definitely look at these players that we have around the club, and it is looking really good for us.
Oh, yeah. and numbers are through the roof, which no one else has. President meeting the other night. How many junior teams have you got? Each club 4, 3, 4, 3. Golden Grove 13. So it's got to be important that we make hay while the sun shines now.
Yes.
We've got to make sure that we really capitalise on it because we've got something that no one else has, really. And you might not know, Ash, but Gav's putting a team together this year for Division 7. I don't know if anyone's running this up the flagpole with you. But,
Haven't heard it yet.
I'm not putting it together. It's sort of happening around me.
But the great man himself is going to run a Div 7 team.
Well, we're looking for a coach because I don't want to do it. But
Well, you might have one sitting next to you.
yeah, is that right?
I've got rid of a couple of other commitments and want to play, and every other team's got 57 people. So, I don't know, you might as well, don't know.
So there are a couple of the girls, Michaela and Michelle, are looking at playing.
Yep.
This is how it started. They were looking at playing Saturdays, and what better thing to do than be on the field with your kids. So Elliot's got a couple more years before he can play seniors, and
Yep.
So are the girls still playing Friday nights? Or?
oh yes, they're looking at doing both.
Yeah, right. Oh, God, that's cool, isn't it?
Yeah,
So we did.
awesome.
That's going back a few years when we
Athletes.
did that.
Sorry, yeah.
Athletes.
Not me.
No. It was hard enough umpiring, mate. Squatting down that long. I got up the next day. My quads were burning, and I said to Manny, God, I only umpired, and I pulled up sore. And
Well, Gavin Payne is so good at what he does that he's actually made the advert today for the SABL Masters. You click on the link and there's an image of Gavin pitching,
You're kidding? I haven't seen that yet.
and then you click on the link again and your page down there's a full striding out picture of Gav. So this is on the league page.
Oh, wow. Okay,
yeah,
I'll have to have a look at that.
during the Masters, picture from Masters. Yeah. So
did Peter Moore have an operation on his shoulder that I saw on Facebook today?
he fell off a forklift or something.
Oh, did he? It was a work-related one.
Yeah, he's gone over a hill. Apparently, someone told a young fella to not push the thing from behind or something, and his young fella, inexperienced blokes, pushed him, and he's gone ass over turkey down the hill.
Yeah, righto. Yeah, I didn't know whether he was having a bit of a scrape from all those Div 1 games or whatever. I did see something up there today, but
No, bloody work injury, unfortunately.
Is it reasonable height too? Or
Yeah, 3 stories or 2 or 3 stories, and he said that the other day to me, and didn't know Gloria was listening, so she overheard that and went absolutely bloody berserk. But yeah, so it's a shame because most likes playing. So
is it going to rub him out for the next season, or what is it? What did he break or damage?
my understanding is that he's done the tendons all in the shoulder. And the site on the back of the shoulder as well. So he's out for a long time.
Oh, no, that's not good.
He won't be playing this season. So
No, he's been a good asset around the club.
Yeah, he's been there a long
over the
time, hasn't
years,
he?
Yes. Pick up from Norths. So, he come over for a few years and then went back. And we can't be doing too bad if he wants to come back to us again. And he's played a few seasons with Moose, and we shared the pitching one season, and we both got in the top 10 of the votes.
yeah,
Beautiful.
Taking votes from each other, but it was good. Oh, there we go. Yes,
there's the great man picture, and then if you can't get enough of Gav like what most of us can't, there is another one.
Hey, what?
The silver car has its headlights on.
Oh, Sean,
Yeah, I'll go and
how
turn
much are
my
you
car
drinking at work now?
off. Well, that's how I was in a rush to get
Thanks,
here, of
Manny.
course, but
there we go. There's another one. Okay.
there's another big picture of Gav. You see, striding
right.
out. I won't be a minute. I'll just turn my lights off. Thanks, Manny.
Sure.
Yeah.
She's a good girl. We'll finish on Winterball as well, just in closing with Roger and Bob. The pair of them have been doing it for a long, long time, and with Roger now, he's sort of hinted now that it probably is last year. So what a contribution those guys have made for the fun for everybody else. They've created the game, they've created the competition, and you build it, they'll come. What magnificent effort
You know,
what they've
when
done.
when we're having 10, 12 teams each season, it's
Well done, boys.
yeah, that's a great effort. Yeah, it's great effort to have that competition running. I see 32 years it's been going, so that's a really good effort. And,
Well, no, it's that long.
yeah, so Roger's a huge part of Golden Grove, getting that started. Yes, and not just the Winnable, but for Golden Grove as well.
I said to Roger on the weekend, what happens if Gawler end up winning this? He was there to present the award, and so what happens if Gawler end up winning this? He said, I'm just going to throw it at him. He said, I'm not actually going to hand. I'm going to throw it at him.
Hey, they won the game, mate.
Yeah,
They were better all day. They had better pitches. They had better batters. They hit more in the gaps, and they got home 2 more times than the other team.
Yep.
Good on them, mate. All I can do is say congratulations to them. It's they're very hard to win, and as I was saying to Gav before, I think it's 10 years since they won. I reckon they won 2014.
Yeah, it was.
So 10 years is a long time. They're always around the mark, so they always give you a run for your money. They always push whatever boundaries they can get to try to get there. And
Players that we've never seen before until grand final day.
I tell you who had a good arm was the catcher, Tom. You might know his surname. I don't know his surname, but I talk to them. As an umpire, I like to talk to all the players while they're playing, and you still like to put in your good feedback. Explain why you called it strike or a ball, or I don't like just making no decision and then everyone's guessing what. So if it's high in the zone, if it looks ugly, I call it, and I say it's ugly. Ugly's a ball.
Yeah.
Fanny's nice, you know what I mean?
I was watching that game from a distance, and you're very consistent with your calls.
It was.
Now, I did see the Rattlers. They did sort of
Got rattled.
did question.
Of course they questioned, mate. Of course they did.
Probably in the right manner. Yeah.
Of course.
But you were consistent. The balls were there all the time, and the pitches were there all the time. What you called, and they didn't adjust, and that would be a big factor.
I think the discussion after that Pete and I had was also that the ones they could have hit, they left. And they got rung up on the ones that were low outside. So, and I'd said to both coaches at the beginning of the game, I'm going to call a tight ship today. Once again, you get a ball thrown up 14 feet in the air and it's drifting down. Looks ugly. I don't want that in the game. Called it a ball. It's too high. Came through pretty high. Rightly or wrongly, it is what it is. But I think that also was the first time I'd called a game from behind. I got 2 big knocks early on, so I was trying to get as low as I could. So, to me, if a left-hander pitcher throws outside, then he's never come over the plate unless he's curved it over or slided over the plate anyway.
Yep.
Whereas a right-hander generally has to cross the plate at some stage. So if it's high or low or it crosses before the plate, I get it. But at the end of the day, Gawler had good pitches. And look, I'm not here to explain myself.
No.
You call it on what it was. And as you said, I called it low outside all day. So don't leave him there with 2 strikes.
That's right.
Well,
Make the most of it. You know where it's going to be, so make the most of it. Adjust and hit opposite way. So
look, and hopefully there was a guy behind me all day, and I know he was from Gawler, and he was barking up my ass all day. And I thought, do I turn around? I thought, nah, don't give him that freedom, And he was a prick all day, That's the worst call I've ever seen. That's the worst call I've ever seen.
I did defend you, as I've said. You actually knew the guy, and
who was it? Because you're a fucking dickhead, mate.
Yeah, I just said to him at one point, even your guide dog barked on that one, and sort of he said, "What do you mean?" I said, "Well, you must be blind because that was, But you get those people.
No, cool. It made for the theatre, and at one stage he turned around and he said, "Oh, he's thrown it. He's called it there all day anyway." Because the first couple of digs. I had about 15 knives in my back, and then he'd come around that they were up too low, and I thought, oh, dickhead. Anyway, no.
But I think coming back to Gav's point, you go with it once you see it a few times, and
You make the adjustment if you're going to be cooling out there all day, we'll just shorten up a little bit or get close to the plate or whatever you got to do.
but even it's winter ball.
Well, just thinking
So
about
if you
it
go
now.
up looking for a walk on winter ball grand final, I don't know you're there for the right reasons either.
Well, just thinking about it now, they're probably not communicating to each other on the bench because they could have all known that it was looking for a pitch on the outside and go with it. It's,
Yep.
Grand finals are there to win. I believe that they're as serious as summer season in winter ball. I know
grand final's a grand final. You cross the white line, it's game on, isn't it?
was Expendables motto. Like, we're not here to make friends. Like, we're not. We're life friends. We're old friends. We're old washed up people. We're here to win. So, yeah. What was it, Billy? Billy.
Yes.
He's under here somewhere. Billy.
Oh yeah, there he is.
I got some
There,
Billy
to
stickers. You can take some Billy stickers with you at the end of the day here, but
Billy, what's that? I don't even know what that is.
Oh, Expendables 2.
Billy was
Okay.
the young bloke that ran up the hill, and he said, "Hey, you could do that ace, can't you?" And he said, "I could do that better." And he's just washed up, mate. He wouldn't be able to do it better.
I love the characters.
This isn't what you want, is it, Billy? Nah, I've met a nurse. Go get married.
Half his luck.
Yeah. But no, it's a good journey up there, and the beauty of that club is now we're all mates, and we get the luxury of doing this from time to time on certain days, Sundays and Fridays and Saturdays, and we get to talk to each other and have a bit of fun, a few beers, and
Yeah.
It's a good family club. We have a lot of families there, and you treat everyone like family. It's not us and them or anything like that. It's real good mix that's there.
And you go.
And again, going back to the women's, I don't know if we quite finished that conversation, but
I don't think we did.
no, to bring the girls into that club, it has changed it from being a bit of an all boys club to maybe how some of the others were, and
Oh, the dynamic's
it's
fantastic. The dynamic's great.
Definitely improved. Some of them have been on the board and bring in their own thing, their own flavour to the club. And when you've got fathers, mums, kids playing at the same club.
Yeah, well, we've had Liv on here as well. She's
Yes.
she's contributed. The old Kiwi. She's been a good one. And you got Michelle and you got Jackie, and they're all characters up there. It's
Jackie Tag's one of my favourites. I love that.
she's so much fun.
Oh,
isn't she? She's so
bloody
much fun.
terrific. I'd love Jackie. A lot of people look sideways at her when she says some of the stuff, but yeah, no, she's got heart of gold, that lady, and I coached her for a season, and yeah, she's got a heart of gold, but she just makes me laugh. I love being around her. She's great.
I'll keep my comments to herself about Jackie. She's probably going to listen to this.
Hello, Jackie.
She was one keen for me to come on,
And Michelle, of course.
yes. Hello, Michelle.
I'm
She'll
sure.
be on the bus listening to it now on the way home.
Yeah.
To have
Who's Michelle?
Michelle at the club is something special, isn't it? Whether we had whether it was the women's or not, but Michelle's a special person to have around the club.
Oh, yeah. And she backs it up on the field. Like, she's a great catcher. She's a great batter. She's competitive. You never hear her complain. Like most of the girls, you never hear complain at all.
Oh, come on.
Not like the blokes. Not
Have
like
you
the
not been
blokes.
out there?
Not like the blokes. But no, I
Come on, they have a language of their own, and we don't think we understand it.
think we
I
never
learned a
will.
lot that year, Gav. when I
You do from the girls, don't
Yeah,
you? Yes.
I learned a lot. Mainly where I was going wrong.
Some of the boys talk rough, but some of the girls can match it or beat it. So yeah,
No, it's good fun though. I bloody love them. They're really good. It's good to have them around.
Old Cheza next door, she's a screw with the women's prison. So you imagine the bullshit that comes out of their mouth down
Yes.
there. It's pretty cool. Pretty hard.
Yeah, I think I'd die in a women's
Remember,
prison.
cats are born killers, don't forget. So, yeah, well, as I said, that's winter ball for another year, and that's 2024 out of the way. I suppose you've got pre-season starting soonish this Sunday,
Tomorrow.
Saturday.
Yes, because of Father's Day, we've
yeah.
Saturday.
That makes sense. So we can all put our new undies and our new socks on.
Yeah, terrific.
I'm going away, so I'm happy to get undies and socks.
Where are you off to? Tell us.
This one's, I was saying to Gav earlier, this one's the Europe one, which
Oh, nice.
I'm way out of my league here. Like, I'm way out of my league. I'm a Yankees fan, as you know, so
Oh, really?
as you are.
Yes.
But we land in Rome. We discussed that before. We land in Rome. We go on a,
Oh, nice.
I think we got 2 days in Rome. Then we go on a 10-day cruise through down the bottom of the foot, Santorini, and there's a
Nice.
couple other ones there, and come back. So that's 10 days. Fly to Heathrow. I've got a podcast in Liverpool that I've been banging on about with Justin Hopper. That's at the new Brighton radio station. So that'll be a good one. I've got a podcast next Wednesday as well, live with him. So that'll be good.
Gav and I will just stay here at Surrey Downs.
You can run this place, mate. I'll leave the key out and you just switch it on. The fridge will be full of beer. You'll be soaked like me by the time I get back.
The podcast, Super and Prez, I don't know what we do with that. I just,
Sounds good.
yeah, have ladies ring in, just,
Could be the House of FX.
Yeah,
Couldn't
House of X. Yeah.
There's a free plug.
Any ideas, Gav?
Yes, but
So anyway,
let's run past a few ideas first. Before we
sure.
get going.
anyway, the
Leave the key.
daughter's met a guy over there called Andy Smith, and they're living in. He's got a place there where the Olympics was looking after all the Olympians, I suppose.
Oh, yeah.
So he's bought a place there, and we're gonna come back from Liverpool and get on a plane and go to Dublin, and we got 5 days around Ireland. So that'll be good. We'll go and
This all sounds shit, Gav.
No, this sounds good actually.
go and see some of the distilleries and some of the breweries there. And we'll drive around to the far northwest Cape, which looks over New York, of course, and Boston. And we'll make sure we have a beer in Dublin and throw a few fucking stones, a few bombs. I don't think I'll be saying too much. I'll be fairly quiet there. So there's a bit of history there. The Irish are a little bit orange at time, aren't they? So white and green as well. And then we go to Paris.
Oh, wow.
We got a few days there, and we catch a train down to Barcelona. We got a few days there as well.
Wow.
And then that sort of winds up the 5 weeks. So
5 weeks. Wow. That's awesome.
So that should be a bit of fun. So it'd be nice to see Caitlin. I haven't seen the daughter for nearly 12 months now. So be nice to see their place where they're living. And, of course, they might be heading out to Australia for 2 years. So Dad's even more happier to have them out here for a couple of years. Reese is on the Sunshine Coast with Debbie Fowler and Alex and David up there. So they were down last weekend. So we... have you been into the Adelaide Casino up to the top bar there?
Not for a long time.
Looks out over Adelaide Oval now, and it's called Elroy or Sol, S-O-L.
Yeah.
That's fucking top notch.
Have not been in there for a long time.
No.
Last time I went there, I tried to wee in a pot plant and security removed me. So haven't been back since, just in case my face is on the door.
Elliott's a bit too young to take there at the moment. So.
Geez, it was good. It was really, really good. It was because you're out in the air as well. You know, like you got the glass balustrading there that might be that high, and you can see Adelaide Oval and all that precinct through there, which is really nice now. So my older brother builds high rises in the city, so I've been asking for a 75-story somewhere to bring the overseas guests. I know we've got the accommodation and all that on North Terrace, which looks terrific, but for fuck's sake, build me this building, can we? You know, like it's in the family, so come on, let's get it done. So
you do all the glass, though, wouldn't you?
Nah, they'd get someone cheaper. I'd be too dear, I think. too dear, but we do need a high rise, at least one. If you go to, how long since you've been to Melbourne?
Gee, you and I needed to start doing stuff instead of being at this bloody club.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, it's been over 3 years.
Now I believe they've got 3 or 4 towers now, over 100 stories there.
Shit.
So when you land at Tunnel Marine and get on the double-decker bus and head in towards the CBD of Melbourne, the silhouette, I don't know if any of you been to New York, but if you look at the silhouette of Melbourne, you might have maybe 2.5 of those represents Manhattan. So as you come in from Connecticut from the north and you come in through Queens and whatever, as you come onto the island there, that silhouette just goes and goes and goes and goes and goes. Melbourne was very impressive because it's only one and a bit more probably as a footprint to New York. And Melbourne's very good. Melbourne's very high.
I like Melbourne.
Melbourne's got a lot of
I like Melbourne.
lot of stuff going on. They got a lot of stadiums. They've got plenty there to do.
Well, I was once employed by
Prepare for that.
RACV, so we used to go over there, and of course they had the old World RACV club that only men were allowed to go to, sort of thing, and 6 stars it was, and they said, "Oh, well, this is all free as part of your employment." I thought, well, yes, please. So went over a few years for that. It was great, and then they stopped employing us, so that was the worst part. But yeah, used to get over to Melbourne every year. Bloody love it.
I believe Melbourne's now outbuilt Sydney with high rises. So there's now now there's a bit of competition on for the Sydney CBD to push towards Watson's Bay, like to the east there.
Gotcha.
Okay, yes.
And apparently there's been a whole load of sites being allowed to rebuild. So that's good. There's a bit of competition on there.
Well, hopefully we'll be building a bloody indoor facility soon at the club.
Wouldn't that be nice?
Yes. Well, no, look, I'm not holding my breath for it. Like even at this point,
Talk about it.
You'll pass on.
The community consultation finishes today, I believe. It's today or tomorrow, whatever it is. And
Yeah, today. Yeah, so hopefully our members have got behind it. That would be good.
But yes, again, I'm not holding my breath. We'll see what happens, how they want to play the numbers, and be good to make sure we continue to keep up with the other clubs that do have this, and there's nothing this side of town that we can really hire out. I know Arena 42 is where the senior team's training at the moment, but we've got other teams to run through there as well. So.
Yeah, and look, I think you and I have been at this for so long now. I think we're just wanting it built, to be honest. And every year I keep promising you I'll get the council over the line, and then you can do your building part. And so look, I think it'll get done. It's just a matter of when, unfortunately. But it'll be. I think it was Ash White himself that said this thing ain't ever going ahead. I think he said that 12 months ago to me. He said, "You're wasting your time, mate. It's not going ahead." But yeah, I'm hoping Ash is wrong on that one. I hope we're not too far away now.
Well, I've got emails that go back 7 years from when this first started.
What was the wash up from the Tea Tree Gully thing last 2 weeks ago?
A couple of weeks ago, we had some regular faces out there.
Residents?
Yeah, residents. So there was a few out there talking about not being able to walk their dogs on the field. That's nothing to do with the club, and we'll put that out there. We're not speaking up about that. It's part of the bylaws and what the council's done, and I believe they've had some complaints wherever they've come from. It's not through the club itself.
This is Bob Ansett.
Yeah, so the other residents there speaking up about it, they're obviously not in favour. A lot of them just want to keep the club or the ground as it is. Don't want to move on or make it advances on what it could be, what it could look like, improvements. You go to some of these other clubs and there's improvements around the place. Some of this stuff is what the club built at a cost, and it's 30 years old. So technology changes, materials change. So there's room for improvement. But if one thing it has created has been a bit more communication between the club and the residents. We see what we want, what we need. The residents just see people on what they consider their oval.
On their reserve?
On their reserve.
Because they do deem it reserve, don't they?
They do play on that word as a reserve and not a sports field or anything like that.
Oh, Bobby was pretty loaded up that day, wasn't he?
Yes,
I'm not commenting on that.
No,
good on you for doing it too, Bob.
Bob has his say, right or wrong. Maybe he could be a little bit more tactful sometimes, but he says what he thinks and get some people fired up.
It's called passion, isn't it? It's called passion. You've been there a long time as well, and there seems to be always a lot of red tape to get through, and you think, just stop the fucking Ukraine war. Just stop it. Go put a 6-shooter, put one bullet in a 6-shooter. You walk that way, turn around, bang. Whoever's standing, stop the war. Don't kill the kids, mate.
Oh well, I think the other day we're getting closer to them accepting that there's going to be something there and that it's going to be on, and Gav did terrific work again, speaking to those that matter, and the residents. He's always fantastic with them, and we just did a bit of a sales job on it, and they seem to be accepting of it towards the end. Unfortunately, I had to give my mobile number out again, but that's all part of it. But I think they're getting closer. As a club, I think we've been really easy and free in moving what we wanted because we've moved it 3 times from where it originally was. So we're coming to the party. It's just a matter of them seeing that, I think, and realising that, hey, these guys are trying to meet you halfway.
I don't like the car park. I think that's the worst decision ever for a batting tunnel. I don't like that one.
No, and then you have a look at the plans for later on. You're going to have one building that's going to be in the middle of 2 car parks, or between 2 car parks, and then it's not close to another building or anything like that. So I'd still like to see right field on the top diamond go out 30 metres and lose a little bit on the other end and put a car park.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, to make up 2 full diamonds up there or as close to. But
well, I'm doing my best I can with that, but I'm not getting very far at all.
Nah, we won't get anywhere with that. When that lady come in the other day and she was banging on that it was a reserve and there's no baseball club here. Well,
that got Bob fired up, didn't it?
Well, just say that.
When was this?
Well, she come in and said, "Oh, there's not even a baseball club here. This is a reserve."
Oh,
and you think,
the weekend, was it?
Even if the lease is $1 a year to lease the club at the council.
No, well,
put your head back in the sand, lady. Like, come on.
Yeah, if it's the same lady, she said to me, "I don't want baseball here." I said, "Well, that's fine. We'll move out, and the Hells Angels can move in, or the Finks motorcycle gang. They can move in and use the club rooms." And she said, "What?" And I said, "You don't know. If we go, you don't know what you're then getting."
Well, turn it into a soccer pitch and have flares every week.
It just we've been really good with it in our behaviours club wide, and so I just don't think they realise that if we moved out, they're going to get some bloody mob that is not going to be as good to them.
I think so as well.
But yeah, I did also think of changing our name to the Golden Grove Baseball Soccer Club, just so we can get a massive grandstand and whatever
Soccer
else.
Club FL, yeah.
Yeah, so that did run through my head, but Lucas Jones didn't laugh at that. So
I drove past the Mobbery, the Teacher Gully Soccer Club yesterday on the way back from the bottle shop there, and that monstrosity looks like a German bunker. That must be worth $10 million at least.
Yes.
To look at have you seen the air conditioning machines on top?
I haven't taken.
They must stand 2.4 high. Now, if they leave that with balls on top of the dog, on top of that roof, it'll look disgusting. They need to do something up there because you got all the fans up the top. But instead of a whole load of short ones, you can drive past there tomorrow and you'll see this thing standing up that's 2 metres high and you think, oh, my God.
But not only that, they got 200 members. We've got 160 registered so far after the first week of registrations. I don't think anyone fully comprehends what we actually deserve with the amount of families and people that we bring to the area.
There's a lot of people going through that.
Just don't think that dawns on anyone.
Nearly every
we'll
day
get
of the
300
week.
plus again this year.
Yeah, we're already at 160 last night.
And it's been a long, drawn-out saga, hasn't it? Like it's been there even since I've been there, and it's been trying to move this direction. And as I said, I drew that drawing up there 10 years ago that's still up on the wall there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Use the land, like get fuck the bureaucrats. You really need people. Use the land up. Use the fall of the land and get that elevation like the Teacher Gully Soccer Club's done. They've elevated, obviously, an outdoor area where you can sit and watch all the pitches from up there if you want to have a cold drink or whatever you want to do or whatever.
Yep.
Yes, we want the same thing. You want better. How lovely would it be to have that upper floor and traverse into the trees there with a nice deck that looks over the bottom diamond?
Yes.
Stainless
but also
steel.
to be able to see the top diamond from it.
Well, once again, if you build up to that level, you're on that level anyway. So if you go from the car park and you come up 6 feet from the car park and that's your ground floor, and then you get all the entertainment underneath, which is your batting tunnels and all that, acoustically line it so that the sound doesn't disappear. Open up the airport doors when it's warm. Push it out there to the north, so it's got to travel a long way, to piss anybody off. And then also put a top tier deck over there that's all stainless steel or Gav or whatever, and nice timber where you can sit up there. I've said for years to Bob, instead of everyone throwing their beer cans while they're drinking them on the hill there, get some stainless steel trolleys that have got a bin built into them and people can lean on it and, put their phones and whatever else on top rather than sit there like yubbos and drink beers and throw cans on the floor. It looks ugly, looks terrible. We don't want to be like that.
Yeah, there's so many good ideas. I mean,
put some tables out there that don't need, if they're stainless steel, if they're 316 or of that equivalent, then you don't really have to look after it a great deal. But put some nice, where you can stand there and watch the baseball. You can stand there and say good things to the umpires instead of saying the bad things,
I just don't understand what else we've got to do because, like Port Adelaide, have got 4 junior teams this year, 4 senior,
I think you've got to go private now.
Well, yeah,
You've got to go to House of FX. You've got to go to White Glass. You've now got to generate the money outside of the government because
I've heard House of FX are pretty good.
They're very good at their job.
Yeah.
We do our best.
Yeah.
Job the other day, yesterday, 7-year-old car, and he wanted it looking brand new. So
70 years old?
7 years old.
What was it?
Pathfinder, black Pathfinder.
Why bother? Can I ask
that? Look, we had it looking good, but you've got a time frame to work on it because he's not the one that's paying the bill. Your dealership's paying the bill, but you can only make it so good in a certain amount of time. And I'll tell you what, it looked a lot better by the time I finished.
Of course it did. Well, so what? Yeah, I mean, obviously, does he pay a lot of money to fix up a Pathfinder, or is he?
Who's that?
This bloke fixing up.
Oh
his
no,
Pathfinder?
he wasn't. He bought the car and.
Hurry up and polish it clean for me, can you? What are you doing, Sam? Polishing your
I used to say
bar?
that to a girl I was with. But,
One of some stuff disappeared, but it wasn't going to happen. So anyway, back to the baseball, back to the indoor facility.
Would be stressful though, wouldn't it? Trying to get the car just perfect. And I know you're what you're like. You would just want it majestic.
Yes. Oh yes. It's working out the best way to get the result that particular customer is after from what that particular car is, and it's the way the light bounces off it would be the secret. And if there's
You,
swirls
you
and
can only
scratches.
cut. You can only cut so much before you get out of that top gloss coat as well. Yeah.
Oh yes, yep. And the newer cars have got less clear coat on them, and you sneeze and you go through the clear coat on some of them. But there's some others out there you can sand pretty heavy, and you get a lot of stuff out. There's knowing the right way to sand, different tricks, and I won't be giving them away.
You
You
must
work 22
enjoy
years.
seeing the end product though.
Sometimes you do have to stop and step back and have a look, but often it's just, oh yeah, that's it, and on to the next one. But
I suppose with the Pathfinder, you go fucking whatever, but if
Oh,
it's
Nissan.
sorry, the little Japanese girl.
I
Or you,
did an XWGT the other day, and it was a replica.
now you're turning me on.
Yeah,
351 Cleveland. Oof.
Yes.
the paintwork on it was nice, but it wasn't flat enough, and there was
What colour?
a turquoise blue.
Oh, I know the one. Yeah.
Yeah, but yes, by the time I stopped and finished that one, you step back and look how the colour starts to pop, and
Now it's worth 800 grand. The price of Australian muscle cars have gone up, haven't
And,
they?
and Gav gets $120 for it.
I try not to know the value of the car when working on it, but I know some of them have been north of 400,000,
Wow.
and there's potential of working on one. I think it's going to be next year that. Add a couple of zeros onto that.
Wow. And are they for shows or just people wanting to do them up? Or?
A lot of these are for sale, so
Right,
this one's was on the market.
Wow. For 400,000?
Yeah, I don't know what the value of it.
Right.
It was a replica,
Yeah.
so yeah.
Nothing to take the kids to school to, I suppose. That's, yeah.
Let's get into the summer ball of 2024-25. Have we got time to talk about baseball this
Yeah.
season coming?
Yeah.
You go for it.
We obviously the ones and twos you've got. Is Rogers going up this year to help coach the twos?
Yeah, so coaching panel, Reed Brown again.
So he'll do
Goes again?
Div 1,
Yeah,
yeah.
he'll go Div 1 again, which is great. Built a good relationship with the players, so that'll be good to see him carry that on. Adrian Chenoweth again as his head assistant, which is great, so there's a bit of consistency there. They've been doing some wonderful work in the preseason. Really, this is probably the first solid preseason I've seen our boys have in the 4 years. Running up hills, running around the streets, just really getting into it and really putting in the hard yards and making them work. And I'm pretty excited to see what they can turn out. So, yeah, and then we've got the big Ford F450. Greg Rogers is joining Dana Manson, so I don't think you could probably get.
So the school teacher's going up as well.
Yeah, so we've got a school teacher and
Love you, Dana.
Yeah, school teacher and a big bull. But that's a great combination as well to have.
Oh, fucking Dana's tough as nails. Don't never question that bloke. He's a good bloke.
Oh, look, it's a great setup. Then we've got Guy Everingham, who's new to the club last year, but he'll coach the threes. And
I'm Guy Hamilton in Jakarta. We talked about that early on too.
he's,
The year of living dangerously.
I think every year Guy lives is dangerous. But anyway, but he's doing the threes. But no, look, it's a really good look from the.
We can
top
talk
three.
Sigourney Weaver if you want to as well. She was pretty hot. Keep going.
Gorillas in the Mist. It's what we'll be by the end of the night. Forget everyone these red tins. Yeah, but no, look, I think it's a year of consolidation. Last year we were trying new things and everyone was finding their groove. But I think this year it's sort of like, let's put our head down, and really good signs coming out of the squad at the moment. So I think it'll be good. I'm looking forward to it.
Be good to get wins early.
I've been to several of the training sessions that they've had indoor, and from week one to whatever week we might be in now, the crack of the bat, you can hear the difference in the sound. So the boys are hitting harder. They're understanding their swings more. Got some good coaching. We assist them with some technology, and they're understanding that. And they're the feedback I get is they're all becoming coaches. They're, like I said, they're understanding their swing, being on plane longer, and creating more power. So those games that we were losing by one run, hopefully we have more success this year and turn around and outscore the opposition more.
Well, we get 2 imports as well this year, which is exciting. A couple of stud names coming. Daniel Youngblood as an outfielder, so that's and then the
Which way you heading? North, maybe.
Yeah, he was in that movie. Then Caleb Rush, who is another great name.
Where are they from?
America. I can't tell you too much about it. I keep asking Reed, but I haven't been able to catch up with him. But they're both independent league players, so they're high level. Caleb Rush is a pitcher, and apparently he stands at 7 foot tall. So I think that would be quite imposing to have a 7 foot tall pitcher, to be honest. But
Especially if he's throwing sidearm.
yeah, bit of Jujin Ruzik. But no, look, we've got and all the other good kids that come back. Noah Rogers, will keep developing. Tyler Green, who just made the Australian under-18 squad, he's going away in September before coming back in October. He's in the Australian team, which is pretty exciting. So, he'll continue his journey at 1-2 level. So I think it's a really good outlook for the season, to be honest. I'm pretty positive. We get Kenzie round 1 at home for the Darren Jolly match. I don't know if you remember. We did the award for Darren Jolly and got his trophy game in round 1 at home. So that's going to be quite a big day, I would imagine.
One game or 2 games? Or?
It'll be 3-2-1, although Kenzie at this stage may not have Div 3 from what I'm hearing. But so it'll be certainly 2s and 1s, but the 1s is the first game each year between the 2 clubs. The winner gets that. We haven't lost it. We won it at home the first year, and then we won it last year at about 8 p.m. on a Saturday night when the game finished last year in the dark. But we won that again, so we haven't lost it yet, so no pressure on that.
Well, I think the tide's got to turn at some stage as well, that, even with the DR years and before that, the push is to consolidate each year and try to go another 2 games. We've gone forward a few, we come back a few, and we're on the march up again, so
7 games by 1 run.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That's what Gav was saying before. You turn those 7 into wins, then you're in the top 8.
Yeah, so
which is the key to getting the better draw. So you want to play the better teams, and of course, hopefully the tide turns soon. And
every year I tell people we're playing finals.
If you can get out and win those ones early, and not put the pressure on later that you have to win, then you can afford to drop a couple without too much stress. And
you win a couple of early ones, you get a bit of confidence behind you, and we all know it's a game of confidence.
It's all confidence, when it's up. Everyone's hitting, everyone's seeing these things coming down the middle like this, and if you're seeing golf balls come down and you don't even know what you're looking at, it's hard to win, isn't it? And then if the field's down, or there's an error somewhere, or whatever, you want to ride that boat on the way up, and hopefully it turns. Hopefully this will be a great year.
Yeah, I think we were 4th, gave away the 4th fewest amount of runs, right, in the league. So that just tells you we're hitting away from making something happen. So, Gav has been enormous in buying some fantastic technology for the players and really looking after them with the equipment that he's bought this year. And so, hopefully they can repay that.
That goes back to last year having a really good year at the club financially, and a bit of success. So with that financial success that the club has had, yes, we've been able to buy more equipment. So then that will be shared across all grades, and hopefully with the indoor facility, bigger and better things for the club and more success for everyone. We just need that to continue this year.
I think if you've got also not 24/7, but you've got access to a batting tunnel like the good clubs in the Western Districts get, of course you're going to get better. If you can field Tuesday night, Thursday night, Sunday morning if you want to, and you do extra time catching, you get better catches. All of that. Pitches, you get better pitches. You know, you got an indoor facility that you can just use. Of course you're going to get better.
Well, the other thing is the indoor facility has 3 tunnels in it, and that was going to replace the 2 tunnels next to the bullpen. Well, because they keep wanting to relocate the indoor training facility, we need the bullpen and those tunnels to be close to the main diamond. So we may end up with 5 tunnels, which is a benefit to everyone.
And that's the work of Gav, and this is what people don't see what he does for the place. We should be on the ground kissing his feet. What he does for us, and his knowledge of where to go with it. Okay, we need this equipment to make their swing better. Okay, let's go and get it. Yes, we need this for the indoor facility. Yes, this is what I need to do. And the work that this, Gav does for us is just absolutely bloody enormous. So, can't thank him enough, really.
He's a good man. He is a good man. That's why we got him here tonight.
He's a nice fella.
Just passionate about the club. It's done a lot for me. Over the years, you have different events through life, and it's been there to support me, and 2 of my 3 kids enjoy it.
I think you're very humble as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Very humble.
He's never going to talk himself up,
And a very, very good finisher.
never going to talk himself up. But I've seen it firsthand, and this place doesn't exist without him. And every year I think him and I, we both work fairly hard at it. And every year we keep saying, "No, we're out. We're done. That's it." And we look at each other in the car park and we go, "Yeah, we're done." And sure enough, 3 days later, we both sign up and walk back in together. So it's been funny the way that's worked out. But we both care enough about it, and we both understand, I guess, what the place is and who the people are and what we're doing, and the passion that he's got, I share. I love coming back to the place and trying to do the best we can. But without him in the last 4 years, this place wouldn't have gone forward and getting the success it has. So it's quite incredible what he does. Now Ash has gone out for a wee, so he's going to say thanks for that. But Gav, they'll build a statue of him when he eventually leaves at the age of 89. I don't know where that'll be. It could
Why
be
are you going so early? It should be there past 89.
But there's few people, and I've been part of sporting clubs, and you look at it and you go, well, this person is great, but a lot of our members don't see every single thing he does. Like, he's there every night getting equipment ready at the moment. He's there getting the diamonds ready. He's there looking at the indoor facility and what it needs. It's just so many hours. And I get what he said a minute ago, in the fact that this place, when you have tough times, I lost my dad and all the rest of it, and had some tough times along the way, but there's so many great people at that place that just come to you and go, "Mate, we got you." And that's what drives you into it and really makes you want to keep going. And I agree with him. That's what it is. It's getting a phone call from him or Michelle. I don't know who she is properly, but Michelle that we spoke about before, Michelle Nichols. And she's always messaging me all the time, how's life, So there's these little, that's why you do it. And every year we've quit, but I've been there, the end of the season, and in the car park on presentation night, this is it. You can all go get stuff, we're out. And some 3 days later, we text each other, and now I'm back in. So, it's the way, it's amazing the way it draws you in.
What about Gav? Has he got the new white line machine? Have you looked after him with some new machinery? Or
I am not going near that.
We look at it. There's new.
See, this is where we let ourselves down.
There's new technology coming forward, but it's just out of the price range at the moment. It's it'd be nice, but when it comes into a more reasonable price with the new technology, it would be.
Does it do straight
good.
lines?
Yes, it would do straight lines, Sean. That's why you're not allowed near the machine.
That's right.
again.
He did say he was banned. On his podcast, he said, "I think Gav won't let me back."
Yes, I have a little chuckle at the chemist's own commercial with when the guy sneezes and.
Yeah. No, look,
I just want it to look as best that it is reasonably possible and within a budget and a time frame that is.
And
is
for a
reasonable.
very tight budget, I think that you do a tremendous job with the presentation anyway. And
yeah.
with the A grade games and B grade games, etc. As it goes down, that you present the maximum amount of joy for those kids to thinking they're playing, the big league, and
I did.
how wonderful,
Yeah, I did
The
spoil.
lawn's green.
Well,
it's
I did
incredible.
spoil it myself with some new ground equipment to help improve the quality of the.
Did the
grounds.
turtle stuff come in? We had a discussion 2 weeks about that. It was due in.
Yes, that has arrived.
Did you get extra?
Yes, I did.
Good boy. See,
So you bloody should.
Tradie.
So you
Of
bloody
course,
should.
we're shopping the world for this sort of stuff to find where to get stuff from.
We'll take it out of your new merchandise sales.
Do you know it's funny? I work for an aluminium merchant, as you know where I work, and every sort of 3 or 4 years they supersede the old model, and they, you know what I mean, they get the college kids to come up with something different, and every 10 years you should keep the last model so that you can service it within that time. And what's this mob do? It's gone. I've got about 2 or 3 or 4 in here, and then the what was it? Not Aldinga, the Aldinga Cafe or something down there on the coast. They're right on the water as well, so you're right in the zone of the stainless steel can handle it, but everything else is corroding everywhere else. And of course, I go down there, and it's the one they've thrown out. And there's 3 that are like jammed up because it's got mould steel. The bit that goes through the lock is only mould steel, so that rusts out pretty hard, and you can't get it out.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, it's just shot to shit. And anyway, I've got to try to do that before I go away, which only leaves me now Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So now I'm under pressure to try to get down to Seaford, which isn't close to us, or Aldinga even further,
Yep.
to try to honour this cafe. I've already put in a few hours down there, and that's pretty hard. We're still at Mount Barker. We're still out at Angle Vale.
Not helping Gawler, I hope.
Helping Gawler. I've got a little bit of red in my worktop now.
Walk with a limp.
Yeah, but end of the day, I've been lucky. Also, I've been on the road since 1992. So
Wow.
what's that? 30 odd years as
I was
well.
just going to
and-
say it's good to be on the road to see development and just different scenery all the time.
different
rather than-
office every day.
That's probably why I keep doing what I do on the road.
I always say it's like putting a shark, a great white in a pool. It'll die.
Yes.
We're the same sort of beast. We need to be able to just roam around. It's yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. I've always been in offices myself. I'd love to get out one day and just be a road, do something on the road. Don't know.
You'd have a ball going out on, you'd be sitting in the car and just driving around. Some days you spend more time in the car. You might have one job at Victor Harbour and one back at Ranella on the way back.
Bridgewater on Monday.
There you go. So, I got Mount Barker Monday.
See, you can try all the bloody bakeries and all that sort of
You know where the bakeries are, the good bakeries.
There's one at Idrossan.
That's what
my
you do
favourite.
learn.
Oh, no, I don't actually.
You've got to know all the bakeries.
Yeah,
You know which ones to avoid.
yeah.
But no, there's some good ones out there. There's some great bakeries out there. There's some good surveys too that have good truck food as well. Like if you're looking for some salty fish with some chicken salt,
Oh, yes.
you can still go out there on Port Wakefield Road there at I think it's Nampole or whatever. But they got a beautiful truck stop out there, and you can get whatever you want. Fritters and, all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
Good bodybuilding food.
I went out and helped my mate who does surveying work, and we went out there and he said, "Oh, I've got to go to this place at Angle Vale. They do hamburgers." Oh yeah, whatever. So we went there, and this bloody hamburger. If it wasn't so far away, I'd go there all the time. Like, it was unbelievable.
It's good to get some avocado and some beetroot in your
my
hamburger, isn't it?
God, it was great.
God, years gone by where it was just cheese and bacon and you know, it was just full of fat. But now we got some good fats now that the Femmies are on the baseball team, and I suppose we're all eating a little bit better, aren't we?
Do we need to get Anne to do hamburgers?
The Yanks aren't.
Oh, they'll be on the menu this year.
Hope so. She does an awesome job as well, Anne. She's come back to the board again this year, which is amazing. So,
Christensen, yeah,
Anne Christensen.
she's been in Europe, hasn't she? She's just
Harry Hill's Quality Meats.
she's a good girl.
That's a good plug.
I did ask her on the podcast, so Anne, get your ass up here.
If you need meat for Father's Day, you'd be going straight to Harry Hill's Quality Meats or whatever.
There you go. Yeah. I'll get Anne with someone. I don't know whether it's Michaela or Michelle or someone, but I might even have the three of them up here.
I think what you should do is probably have Michaela and Gav do a Payne podcast. That'd be pretty cool.
We could do a pain in the ass, couldn't we? That'd be pretty cool.
What am I, the arse, am I?
But no, we could do. Look, the beauty is you can do whatever you want. You know, as I said,
yeah.
poor old Pete was sort of preoccupied tonight with his gardening, so he couldn't get out. But
You had to
Trimming
park your
bush
own
again?
car?
Pete's got green thumbs.
He's trimming his bush again, is he?
Yeah, just trimming it back a little bit.
Yeah, good man.
So, Shaun, you had to park your own car? Pete wasn't here?
Come on, Pete. Come on, Pete. There's 2 cars here that need moving.
Well, I left my lights on, so obviously I've done well.
Yeah, thank you, Mandy.
Thank you, Mandy. Yeah,
Yeah, she did well.
I'll be here for the night.
Now, Pete would have picked that up straight away, that there was ambient light just emitting to the north.
Do you know... Pete,
Good old
he's
Stingray.
another good egg, isn't he? And I love wearing that.
Love you, Pete.
The old Stingray thing.
He's a good golfer too. He's just as good at golf as he is at playing baseball. He's a very good sports person.
He's got a few fellas at the moment too, hasn't he?
He did have. He's shorn him back, hasn't he?
Yeah. Good umpire. They didn't complain about him on the grand final.
No,
It was
I
only
know.
you.
He got 2 hits as well. One through the corridor and one over the fence. You know, he did quite well. But no, he's good. He's a legend up the club. He's one of those guys. The kids love him. The girls love him. He's just a terrific fella up there. You know, he's always having beers with everybody, and you know, he's up there.
Hopefully to see you a bit more up there this year. You going to come up a bit more?
Depends whether I come back from Italy, mate. I might have too much fun over there.
Fall in love with an Italian girl.
I might be living in Liverpool.
Great place, Liverpool.
Haven't been there, but
I went to the Beatles Museum.
in Liverpool.
Yeah, and it was fascinating. And they had the piano that John Lennon wrote Imagine on in this little white room. And it was just spellbinding. You go, oh, wow, okay. And 6 months later, they sold that to a Japanese investor for $90,000 and just sold it out of the museum. I just reckon there's sometimes when you got to go, no, I'm sorry.
The people.
Yeah, in Japan playing with it. But
her version of the song was pretty good.
yeah. Was it?
Yoko.
Yes, yeah. Oh, I thought you meant the new girl. No, but I think that sometimes you've got to hang on to history, don't you? And keep it where it's meant to be.
Yes. Not for sale.
Wonder how they came up with the name Beatles. How did they come up with the name?
Yeah, don't know about that one.
Don't know.
Were they living in such a shitty, moisty spot that there were Beatles everywhere?
Galway Baseball Club.
Could have. Could have.
Yeah, don't know. I'm going to go and Google that later now.
Well, you think Beatles, you got the Eagles, you know.
Actually, my phone's
Beatles.
just here. Why don't we just quickly Google it while you blokes keep talking? Ask Gavin a good question.
Well, I was talking about his hardware to see whether he got a new white liner ready so that he could do some artwork for the teams that are playing, so that he could emboss their print into the lawn.
We would be doing that if, yes, we had the right machine. I have made inquiries about that, but
When you go to Yankee Stadium, when you do the tour there, you walk down onto the grass there, and they got they got that one there, just
Yes.
sitting there right at the head of behind the catcher there, and they say to all the Asian guys, don't walk on the grass, and the fucking Asians are walking on the grass, and you think, I even understood how the guys said it, don't walk on the grass.
I went to Manchester United Stadium, and there was 20 Japanese people in the group, going berserk. And we went down the grass, and the guy said, "Please do not walk on the pitch. It's currently being watered." 20 of them just walk out and start looking at the centre of it, and yeah, exactly. I wish it had been like that. But anyway, I was standing there going, I heard it.
What part don't
The
you
bloke
understand?
next to me heard it. What? They just had this arrogance. And then the guy goes, "Oh, but we want to see grass." Well, go home and see grass, mate. He's told you not to go on it. Anyway.
Crazy.
People, Ash.
Crazy. How's your beer? You want another beer?
I'm going all right at the moment, thank you.
All right. You want another beer?
Oh, look, I'm empty.
So I did do a quick dash past the club today.
That's unusual.
It was my first time I heard.
First time today you'd been.
First time today, and it'd been dark the last 2 nights on the drive past. So, yes, they mowed. Looks like today, and it's looking very green, and it's looking the best it's looked at this time of year. So once we get some of the little lumps out of the ground, and
How exciting that a new year awaits. That I love that. If you could bottle all that energy prior to going into even game one, if you could bottle that. Oh, here's game one,
Well, today is like you're talking about my work. Do I stand back and have a look at what I've done before and after, and
especially with an XW with a sky blue.
Well, even last night when I was working, we were doing a black territory. It was all oxidised, clear coated
That
oxidised.
would have been nice.
5 hours work on that one, and yes, you do just take a step back and have a look and think of before and after. It's pretty much like that at the club, looking at the lawn and what we've got to do. And a lot of what I do is no different between work and baseball. It's a special type of detailing to. It's just grass and a bit of cutout, but no, you got to. It's where the grass meets the dirt. You've got to get that right, and you've got to make sure they're lined up and get the.
It is
the
an
lumps.
etiquette that you carry through life too, Gav. I think that if you had someone that was sloppy, you'd find it to be a sloppy field, and you've never ever left anything like that. It's always
being there long enough. You've seen it in its good and bad states, and there's a lot of work, and certainly not knocking anyone that's put in time over the years previously. Everyone does what they can, and also with a budget. But you go to other clubs now, and I think everyone's understanding more about ground and safety. Safety's played a major factor in what I've looked at, how the ground should play. You cringe with the bad bounces, and you
just want an honest bounce, don't you? You want to be able to get as low as you can and let that ball hit you here, not go.
Yeah, well, you don't want someone getting hurt, whether it's a low bounce into the groin or a high bounce into the face. We've played at different grounds. The old Adelaide field where that was a hard ground, and you get a massive bounce off that. And
What's the report card on that? Adelaide, that's called the
Weagle even
Weagle,
used to be.
Weagle.
But don't know if it's got a different name now. I don't know.
Oh,
But
I imagine the ground's still the same. I believe
They've
the
probably
sign's
had
still the
10
same.
million spent there, have they?
Yeah.
And the rest, because soccer's gone in there. So
Pretty good.
You'd be looking at about 10 for the.
And Div
the
5
club.
fucking beat them, didn't they? We beat them once down there, and we beat West Torrens
We
once.
won that game.
Fucking hell, I remember the year before, and they were laughing at me. They were sniggering up there. The first year they got their superstructure, their height. What was it? The Hilton, not the Hilton, the Continental, like it's that big. It's like the Alice Springs bloody Hilton
Well, the year you
on down there at
Yeah.
West Torrance. Jesus, Rutland Avenue there. And they were sniggering. They were pigs. And they beat us. Good luck to them. But
So I think when you were coaching your final year, was it the game I pitched started, and then Gav came on and relieved, and we ended up beating Adelaide down there, and that was one of our few wins, obviously. But
yeah, I think it was only 2 or 3.
I think there was 2 or 3. But the great man and I combined to hold Adelaide pretty low that day. Got the chockies. Might be a good combination this year.
Well, we can make it work.
Oh, now you did bring up Div 7 before, didn't you? You let it slide. But yeah, the girls playing and
Yeah, I'm looking to come back and play. I haven't done it for a couple of years, and I don't know. I've become so close with Gav as well. Like I absolutely bloody worship the bloke, and so it's like when I heard he was putting a team together, but he, was sort of 2 or 3, whether he might have a 9 or not. I was like, oh, what do I do? So
I'm not putting the team together. I have decided I was going to play baseball with my daughter again, and others are getting on board. So it's sort of happening
get
around
your
me.
ass home, Michaela.
have we got 9?
I'm not putting the team together.
You're sick and fat with that, aren't you? Yeah. No, look, I don't know. I just I love the game. And it would be good to back. And a couple of years ago, I think we were going to have a year together, and then I think Wiz took me for his team or whatever. But he's got 57 now. I think he brings them out the white pages on a Friday, and they all pop out. So it'd be good to just have a year with Gav. And I like the concept. Michaela, Michelle, all those people that are just awesome people. I think it'll be a pretty fun year, even if we
Look, a couple of
even
years.
if we didn't win the flag, we'd have a good time, I reckon.
Couple of years out, you do miss the camaraderie a bit, but
Yeah.
the good thing about baseball was it took away work on Saturday
Yes.
because you had to be somewhere, and that was the beauty of not only Thursday nights as well, that it made you go down to the club. Saturdays made you only do maybe one cashier on the way out. You know what I mean? Like you couldn't book in stuff on Saturday because you had to be somewhere by 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock.
You get the diary out. Oh, yeah, sorry, that one's taken. I'm not free until April.
But do you know how bloody dedicated he is? What did you lose the Caps medal by? 3 votes? Something like that? 2, 3 votes? And yet one of them, he was at a council meeting at the bloody Chambers, so I was at Tea Tree Gully, doing this indoor facility in a winnable game. So if I got the shits up because he wanted to be there, and that's fair enough. But at the end of the year, when he lost out by a couple of votes, I'm like, Jesus.
He's a good player.
Yeah,
we
think
should
it
have
was-
bloody let him go.
I think it was more than 3.
I don't know.
But the
How old are you now, Gav?
I'm 53 or 54 at the end of the year. So
Okay.
yeah.
So you're nice and fit. You're still good enough to play, which is fantastic. But,
Yeah, as long as the body holds together.
sure.
Poster boy for Div 8 Masters, according to SABL.
Well, there's a Div 8. Div 8.
I don't think he wants to be, though.
House of FX.
Was that Masters or was it Div 8?
That was the Div 8 Monday night.
Oh, Div 8 Monday night. Okay, well, it looks like I was playing Saturday and Monday.
Well, and Bob Neeswander has commented on it, going, couldn't use a bit of man for the picture. So Bob's all over it. He's
You always think, even being out for a couple of years now, you think, it'd be good to play. Be good to play a few games with your buddies again. Like, I remember Connery saying to me a year ago maybe, and he said, do you miss it yet? And I said, nah, fuck, no way. I've got the business I've got to run, and now I've got time to put into the books, and, now I've got this thing sort of going, and, you sort of quickly fill your time up. Beauty of this thing, you walk out of here and walk back in again, and it's, it's excellent. This has been probably a link to the club in one way, because you still get people through Golden Grove coming through here, and other people as well. That was a whole, when we lost Scotty, I didn't want to just be reliant on that. I wanted to go a total different direction. And now I've got Sonny Lerm with me as well, and we got the 3 pickled goats, and you know there's a lot more in there that probably wouldn't have been there because of what happened.
But it was a good starting point for you, wasn't it?
Look, absolutely, and you know, like there's times I sit out here and reflect, and you know, I think I told you I was sitting out here one night and the power went off, and I said, for fuck's sake, Scotty, turn the power back on, and the power come on like that, and I went, you know, the hair stood up on the back of my neck, and I thought, Jesus, Scotty, you don't have to be like that, you know, like you know. And I sat there for the rest of the night looking over my shoulder, but. You know, I've had another mate that's lost a son-in-law just in the last few days as well that suffered from the black dog, and you know it was in the news only a week ago, and I won't say names and that's come up again in this week as well, and you think. Oh man, you know, such a young bloke, you know, only young, and boom, it's all gone, it's all finished, you know, it's all gone, and you know, it's amazing how much that comes around. You know, you just think you get over it, and then all of a sudden, you know, this sort of shit drags back through the door again, and you go, you know, what we're talking about before as well, and you think, oh, God, life is so precious, isn't it? You know, like. The joy of being human is to see the wins and losses, to deal with the wins and losses, to see the births, to see the deaths, to see the sun come up, the sun go down, the nice sunsets, the UFOs. We'll talk about that later. But you know what I mean? Like all that stuff that makes us human is just that whole emotion that rolls us all into buddies and
Well, on that, I think that's a good thing about sport, because you have your ups and downs, and if we refer it to baseball, you have more failures than success. In like you look at your batting average, you know, if you get on base 3 times out of 10 at bats, you're doing well.
Don't look at my last year's, but 114, that's the worst I've ever been in my life.
Good number.
For Major League.
So yeah. So I think sport does help you deal with life a bit, and you take that out of your life, you end up with a bit of a void, and you talk about the black dog that does creep in. So
you know, even the Sonny Lerm that I have tomorrow for the podcast tomorrow, he had a guy rock up on his driveway and torch himself and light himself up.
Yes, I did hear that on a podcast, yes.
Now, Sonny just wanted to put him out. This guy didn't want to live. He wanted to die. He just wanted to die with somebody's eyes, which was Sonny Lerm. And you think, God, that's so much to ask from somebody. And as he grabbed him, his belt come off and all the skin come off, and this guy wasn't even in pain.
It's
scary.
So bloody sad, isn't it? What you get to that point where you're in someone's driveway and you just light yourself.
This guy didn't even have pain.
Yeah. Is it a switch? And poor Sonny, you know, that would be just dreadful to deal with.
Terrible.
But I think it's important what you do, Ash, in your podcast. Like, it's talking about life and talking about these things, and you know, having people on, like, you know, people that are great in the community, like Gav, that can tell their story. I think it's really important, because people hear that and they sort of get a bit of a lift from it, you know. And so I think it's really important what you do on your podcast and just joining people together in the community, you know. Unbelievable.
To know that people don't go through that alone. They're not the only one that may be suffering some tough times in life.
Yeah.
We all know that life can throw a curveball, or you have different issues, and it's how people deal with it at a particular time, and sometimes leaning on other people to help you get through that.
Yeah, and to also know that you're not the only one that is having tough times, I think.
That's all right, yeah.
You know, you hear the podcast and you hear Sonny's story and you think, well, shit, my day hasn't been too bad after all. So I think that's why it's just so important what you do for everyone, Ash, to put these podcasts together. And again, you know, I come back to our club as such. When Scotty did go last year, one of the most incredible things that I saw was that as a club, how it all came together. And I'm not just talking about the Div 1-2 squad. It was the whole club as a whole. And, you know, that was... I said to someone, it might have even been Gav, actually, I said, I'm not sure too many clubs would have survived this. But we became stronger in the following fortnights. And, geez, you just go, fuck, how good's this place? You know, we stood up and we kept going.
And it's being family, I think.
You know,
Look,
I think the club does stand for that. You know, like I know that we've been through some podcasts before, and we go to Glenelg. We know them for good batting teams. We go to Southern District. We're a good family club.
Yes.
If you want to go somewhere wholesome and you can get looked after without any prejudice, maybe that's what the club's role is in the industry of baseball, is that you're going out to a family club. You can have a good time up there, regardless of whether you win or lose. Maybe that's the role of the Golden Grove Central District Baseball Club, whatever it is. You know what I mean?
And I suppose, like most families, you have some you talk to more than others, and you don't have to talk to everyone. You don't have to know everyone, but there's going to be someone there.
Cross-check doors.
There's going to be someone there that
Stop
you
it,
can
Shaun.
relate to. So,
Yeah, and you're right. It's... You know, the place you go, like, it's funny what you just said. I keep thinking that we just got to win, right? We've got to start becoming a club that wins all the time, and finally get our tyres to hit the road. But last year was so overwhelming with Scotty's departure that it became that place that people just went to lean on each other. And not only that, we had people talking about their own situation with each other. Actually, you know, this has come up. Well, actually, I'm not feeling too good myself. So it started those conversations as well. And the place just became bloody strong. And so, I don't know whether I put an emphasis too much on winning, I don't know. But, you know.
I hope in time also that you build it, they'll come. Same as the club. You build the club, you'll come. The same as this thing. I built this thing for people to use it. It's not here to make money. It's purely a voice for the people. And I would love that down the track, that whether it's baseball or whatever, that people can come and say, oh, there is a podcast guy in Tea Tree Gully that you can bring your story to. It's not that I need to know your story. And I was saying to Gav before, the same as I said to you, is I get an hour and a half with you where I connect with you, and I didn't know that you had another child.
yeah.
I didn't know you had another daughter as well. You know what I mean? Like there's you don't learn that unless you actually sit down and talk to people one-on-one. And the beauty of that is that you not only appreciate it more, your friendship becomes stronger because, you know, you both just dropped all the bullshit for now and say, hey, go on, Gav. You know, like we did a little rehearsal like we did with you, Shaun. Do a little rehearsal and just go through it, and then, boom, once it starts, the rest of the world can fuck off. You know, this is about this moment now.
Well, this is our world at this minute.
This
isn't
is
it?
our world, and we're all connected. Like I thought these were gimmicky, but they're not. You can hear all the sounds around you. We did Sunday afternoons. You had kookaburras, you know, whatever it is. You know,
Think they were
planes
trying-
flying over. There's too many planes flying over. Cross check, but that's half the fun. You know, go and do the wheeze out in the tennis court. You know, it's fantastic. It's
Even when you said to me, Gav's coming on, you know, and I'd like you to sit here with him for a couple of hours and chat. I love the bloke and I love you. So it's about, you know, just getting together and talking through life.
well,
And
it's not prejudice to anybody.
No,
It's a purely a place where you can come and be yourself. You know,
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it. You know, there's no rules. There's no nothing.
yeah.
you want a Coke or you want a beer or you want to pee or you want to shit yourself. It doesn't really matter what it is. It's a matter of having that
I did
time
all
to
of those the first time.
sit down, sit down and just talk. And we're lucky enough now to have where it is now. And, it's has taken a few years to get here. And we sort of had to scrape and scrap to get enough money to get these things. And they're all Australian made. Everything here's built in Australia. And Joe's done all the welded stuff. He's got a little bit more for me that's coming. And hopefully we can get back on a video within 12 months, which would be great. So
I was just looking up at your leather jacket up behind you, and there's a Tomcat
I
badge.
only wear it sometimes.
There's a Tomcat badge, when you're trying to pick up ladies. There's a Tomcat badge, and there's another one up in the top right-hand corner of the arm, which is another jet fighter. My dad had a leather jacket with those two patches on, and I cannot stop having my head spin tonight over seeing a leather jacket with those two patches on.
That was That was Greg Rogers' one, I think.
Was it
when
really?
We did it. Yeah.
I love the Greg. He's a great fella too.
Yeah.
He's
very passionate when he talks. He do you remember the story when he went into town and he was in Turkey? And he was the drinks
Yes.
guy, and he got that drunk that he passed out. And then he remembers waking up with he got his arms and his legs, and he said, "By the way, where are you fucking motherfuckers taking me?" Like they were going to put him in a ditch. They thought he was dead.
Yeah. And then
Good on you, Greggy.
he
Are you in this game, motherfucker?
well the other day I said to him, "What'd you think of the loss, Greg?"
I love Greg. He's good fun.
He was
Good
down,
asset to the club.
He was down there batting, and he was coming out to bat, and he'd gone 0 for 2 or whatever. And I said to Michelle, who's a lovely lady, I said to Michelle, sitting there with Noah, and I said, "I'll tell you what I might do to fire him up. I might go down and call him that gay soldier. Are you that gay soldier?" And see what gay American soldier, and see what he did. Michelle goes, "Oh, for Christ's sake, no. Don't do that." Noah goes, "Can you? That'd be fucking funny." So I go down.
He hit it through the corridor and it kept going.
I didn't do it, by the way, because I wanted my head left on my shoulders. But I went down and said to Greg after the game, I said, "I was going to call you the gay American soldier." He laughed like there was no laugh ever. And he said, "You should have fucking done it, brother." He said, "I might have hit a home run." So he's just a wonderful human.
He said, "You can't throw me that shit. You can't throw me that shit."
But it was funny how, Michelle, "Oh, for God's sake, Shaun, don't do that." And then Noah was like, "Fuck yeah, get down there and do it."
Michelle, she's beautiful. She's so humbling for him. She's incredible. But
Yep. And another great family. This is what Gav was saying earlier, like
he's been around the world, that one.
Michelle plays, Noah plays, and now Ella plays as well. Greg plays, it's that as Gav was saying earlier, that's who we are. So
it's very good. It's very humbling to be a part of it because, as I said, I didn't start up there, wasn't even going when I started either. So to have the opportunity, and I remember Steve Saunders, and I tip my cap to him that
psycho.
He gave me a glove. I didn't even have a glove when I remember starting again at 39 up at Winterbull, and that was with the Bears. And who were the brothers that were really fiery in the Bears?
Don't know.
Dave. They were only tiny little guys, and they'd fire up like fuck. They'd get nasty.
Yeah.
Might have been one of the years I wasn't playing.
Anyway, I said, "Oh, have you got a Bears top?" And I said, "You won't be getting my fucking top, Whitey. Fuck off." It was pretty aggressive. And I thought, it was Dave, and these guys used to light up all the time. And I thought, nah, I won't be here too long. And I think we did win the grand final in 2013. That was with Shoddy and Yorston and PD. There was a few guys in there. Joel Perksy was in there as well, maybe.
Did you would have won a Winterbull grand final, Gav?
I have won a few of those, yes.
Oh, okay. How many of them have you put together?
I'd have to go through the 30.
Hello.
30 names.
Hello.
No, there's 30. I think there's 32 names on that trophy, or 30, might even be because winter ball's been going 32
Right.
years.
Yep.
So the Aztecs actually started with that trophy that we're playing. It was a lead up to the club starting, if my memory serves me correct, and
When did the club start again?
1990-91 season. So I'm pretty sure it was leading into that. We're playing in the Adelaide comp, was probably Div 4 or something like that.
Yeah, there's one that used to be down at the airport.
Yeah, well, we did play down at the airport. We played at a number of different grounds and played at the RAF base.
I was in the
grand,
Cardinal Sinners.
the grand final was at the RAF base.
I've
and-
got you hard nuts here now. Wouldn't it be good to see baseball go back to Nord?
Yes.
Yes.
It has character. more
How,
character.
like, not. I love West Beach and I love what they've done down there as a precinct, like Mount Gambier. It's a precinct for sport.
Yes.
How good, though, would it be to get Norwood Oval built up, put a big red wall down that side street, come around with the breaches down the back? How good would that be?
But they did the bloody grass up and all the rest of it.
You build it, people will come. If you had
build
baseball there,
to improve it for baseball, and then they sold it. And I was always mystified by that, because anyone you spoke to, there was a non-baseball person. Oh, yeah, I used to go to the Giants at Norwood.
Yes. Yes.
but it's that precinct is perfect. You got the
Yeah.
parade there. It's
Yeah.
the parade's just you're on the parade anyway.
yes.
You've got all those pubs there. You imagine a Friday, Saturday, Sunday night game with the Adelaide team, right? As it is now, you would fill that place to the brink. You'd get
And then some.
you'd,
Well, we used to go
you'd
down
probably get seriously 15,000, 20,000 people there on a
I remember the Perth Heat final there, and they actually closed the gates an hour before the game. It said no more humans can come in. It was absolutely chockers, and the Giants won in the late innings. I can't remember the bloody score. So, but anyway, I remember walking out thinking, "Geez, how good's this?" And then that year they sold it.
if I won
Like,
lotto,
just bananas.
if I won lotto, and I really bagged out as a building developer, I would fucking pump my money into Nord and get that stadium built. Like still have your AFL because you can't just rely on the baseball.
That ship sailed, unfortunately.
Pardon?
That ship sailed. I just all the league meetings that I go to are just fully into West Beach, which I don't understand.
You dangle a bit of candy there, and you would find that all those players would go, "Oh fuck yeah!"
It's
But
the characteristics of Norwood, the red brick wall down
It
the
is.
side.
It's
the
like the Boston
old-
Red Sox,
old
mate.
seats.
It is.
Yes.
It is.
Yes.
But you tweak it a little bit and get that filled right, and you would fill it up, mate.
Let me use one word. Norwood had soul. West Beach doesn't have soul. It's an empty place that you go to, and they play baseball.
Correct.
Absolutely. And that's not bagging the joint. The joint is perfect.
I'm not having a go at it.
It is fantastic.
I'll get the sack from the
No,
president meeting.
No,
but
But
you've nailed it. Soul
As a
is the right- yeah.
sporting precinct that's got everything down there. No worries. All right. You go down there and have your weekend, Friday, Saturday, Sunday carnivals down there.
Make sure you take your jacket.
The wind comes up after midday. But absolutely. But what I'm saying is if you had the cash funds to develop, like they developed Adelaide Oval, it's only money. It's only money. You put your money into that state league again, which you'd have to throw money in it. You'd have to pay for it.
Yeah, but it's where the money's coming from.
Well, you don't want a $12 pie, do you?
well, you don't want to have fees go up.
No,
Because
but
let's face it, fees are hard enough for our general punters to pay anyway.
sure.
So all of a sudden, we're going to
gotta-
put fees up so we can make West
Well,
Beach better.
well,
Well,
the
I don't know about that.
The Yanks own that competition anyway, don't they?
Oh,
Do they?
no, not
They get
not so
first
much
choice
anymore.
of our players, though, don't they?
They do, but here's the problem: the baseball league sees that West Beach is the future. I'm not sure that playing Golden Grove versus Northern Districts at West Beach is the go.
Oh, come on.
Now, I had a draft sent to me for the first 3 rounds of the year, and Northern Districts want to play a game at West Beach, and they've named us as the club to play, right? I'm not sure our punters are going to want to go down to West Beach
I'm going down for one.
for the Northern Districts game.
I'm going down for one West End, and I'm going to have maybe a Balfour sausage roll.
and be
That's
bloody
it.
freezing cold because it's going to be round 2 or whatever. So, no, look, I just think they need to use their sense when it comes to this.
Or pump the money into the system. Like you've got to sell it. You've got to sell it to the people, don't you?
I'll be fighting Thursday night for our club not to play that many games down there because our people.
What about WA? What about WA? The what are they called? WA Heat?
Oh, Perth Heat.
Perth Heat.
Perth Heat?
Yeah.
Where are they playing? What stadium are they playing in?
What do you mean? Sorry.
Have they got a stadium in Perth?
Yeah, Parryfield, which they've had for
Any
30
good?
years. Oh, well, they've had it for 40 years.
Is it on the coast? Is it cold? Does the wind blow?
It's about half an hour out of the city. So it's a little bit of a drive, but I've been there.
What
and
about Victoria, Sydney, Brisbane? What's going on?
Melbourne, easy to get to, 30 minutes out.
South?
Yeah, south, yep.
Sydney?
Sydney, a little bit further out because Sydney's so
In the
populated.
west?
Yeah, in the west, yep.
Brisbane?
Brisbane, pretty much near the city as well.
Okay.
So, but this is
You'd
what
have to pump some money into it. So you'd have to try to occupy the whole league, fund it, run it, pay people a little bit better.
Don't forget, Norwood Oval now has the Wolf Blast Centre, which you can have league functions at. So if you ran the Giants out of there, they've got a club room, they've got a function centre, they've got all of that, which they don't have at West Beach. So to me, it's an easy one.
I did Wolf Blast it.
I beg your pardon?
I did Wolf Blast.
Steady. Steady.
Up the freeway. I did him up the freeway.
Oh, jeez. Well, it's where Wolf likes it, from what I've heard.
I did. What's the German town called?
Harndorf.
Harndorf. I did Wolf Blast in Harndorf.
This is going to a whole new dimension. But Gav, you'd go back and watch baseball at Norwood Oval.
Yes. Oh, definitely. And I know a lot of other people would. Because like you said, it has soul. It has character.
You build it,
that
they'll
place.
come. Of course.
But they've obviously had discussions about West Beach, and there would be some long-term plans, but it's funding that, and then what is actually there is costing them money, and they would, they've got to take the roof off the grandstand because it's going to fall sooner or later, probably sooner rather than later.
All right, so it's due. So I'll start putting in lotto on Saturdays. While I'm away, you guys have got to do it as well. But
Well, on top of our podcast.
But you imagine, I bring this up all the time because I think it's such a good precinct on that eastern boundary there of Adelaide that it is the home of baseball in Adelaide. It's in the city, so it's got that Boston feeling about it. The Red Sox sort of right there in. It doesn't matter who you barrack for. But what I'm saying is, you build a facility like that, like you go to San Francisco and you go down to the wharf there, you got the baseball stadium down there. Look at that fucking red wall. How beautiful is that? It's fucking gold.
What if we go back years, 20 years or whatever it was, when they were looking at building at Jepp's Cross?
Too far out. You want the city location. You want it in the city. Everywhere you've gone, you built West Lakes, and now you're playing footy in the city. You're playing baseball down at West Beach. You're going to come back to Norwood.
So the league has a strategy of trying to build baseball at Gawler and making that bigger, which I don't agree with personally, but that's okay.
I don't want to play at Gawler.
But
I was going to come back, but I'm not now.
But coming to Gav's point, if we're going to try and build baseball in the north, and obviously we've got an interest in that because we're biggest club in the north, is it Jepp's Cross?
No, it's gone anyway.
It's gone now.
It's gone anyway.
We've missed that opportunity, but that's...
You've got Norwood Oval now where the roof's rusty. Go and get in there now and build the fucking game back to where it started.
How many
People
people?
will come. People will come.
How many people go to the Giants game,
2,150.
including Wiz and his family?
Right. Well, you build a stadium where you can get people there. People start. You've got to sell it to the people.
People, I come back to my point. People that didn't know baseball knew baseball as being at Norwood Oval and have said to me over the last few years, I used to go when it was at Norwood because you could go to the cafe and get a pizza and a bloody beer and wander down and you're in.
Go to the Norwood Oval. Go to the Bath Hotel.
I just...
That's where we grew up, mate.
Well, we used to go down and play two up down at the Colonist, Kenzie boys. But anyway, that was something. But home of baseball for me in South Australia is Norwood. I see that way. But
I've been building the drum on this since the podcast has been going.
But I'm not allowed to say that, of course. I've got to toe the company line.
Get back to Norwood.
I've got to toe the league line, of course. But yeah, and from a Dodger point of view, like Gav, for us, it's a bloody long drive down there and back.
It is. It is. And depending when you're going down there as well. If you're trying to get there from work, weeknight, it's not the easiest sometimes.
No.
Getting across town or, South Road's still years off being finished, and while that's being built, you're going to put traffic onto other roads, and it just slows everything down.
Yep.
I think they need to actually improve other flows on other roads as well.
I don't agree with holding SABL games down there. Do you? Like Division 1, 2, 3, 4.
I understand why they're doing it.
Yep.
And I think they need to do it, but you want as many games at your club as possible.
If we held Northern Districts in Golden Grove...
Yeah, that's not the game to do.
No. So I come back to it. Baseball needs to be for the clubs.
That's what I Gav.
I better have that one then.
You better have that one, please.
Michaela's done a lot of magic tonight.
Love you, Michaela.
Oh, I bloody love that girl.
That's enough of her.
I love that.
Love you, Elliot.
He left her. She left him for Canada, or wherever she is. So it's a hard sell as a club president to go, hey guys, tonight we're playing East Torrens down at West Beach, right? And the people at our club go, what the fuck is it not at our place where we can make money from the canteen? You're going to make money from the canteen down there. Okay, what, from the 4 people that can be bothered travelling? It just does not make sense to me. It just doesn't.
It's too far away. It's like Footy Park. It's 1.5 pisses to get home.
Yeah, I sit in the league meeting and they go, Shaun, are you on board? Well, I guess I'm going to have to be.
You get the funds right and you sell it right and you sell it back to where it started at Norwood. And I'll tell you, I'll sell it now for the rest of my life. I'm going to try to get enough money to get it back at Norwood.
I'll tell you what,
that would be closure for me in being a human being on this planet in Adelaide.
White Roo Stadium.
House of FX.
House of FX.
I'd give it to Gav.
House of X. House of FX.
House of FX.
Yeah.
I'd give it to Gav before me.
Oh, how good would that be?
Oh, I would love that. That would be special.
With Para Hills quality
Special.
meat selling that. Another plug for them. I'll plug an Ann. Gee whiz, glad I didn't say that. Sorry, that was terrible. But I love plugging her business.
Yeah, well, we've certainly got to get Ann Christensen. Yeah, we know that for sure.
Yeah,
but and get your ass here. Just work out who you're coming with. And
we had a balloon company sign up as a sponsor the other day. I'm not kidding you. They went platinum sponsor. They said they're going to sponsor, and on the opening day against Kensington, they're going to have full bloody balloons as you enter into the club rooms. How good's that going to be? Small things for me, but
no, sounds good. No, I'll back it 100%.
Any sponsor that's on board, I'm
yeah.
I would love to see. I'd love to see my name on the banner. I just can't find X amount to do it. That's all. It's
You could be a smaller sponsor.
What about above the canteen?
I want to be on the fence, Bob. I've spoken to Bob about it, so but we'll see what happens. If we can get baseball at Norwood, then I'll consider it. So
Do you know
Hey,
Bob's bloody good for us though.
Oh yes. Sorry. What about multiple businesses that you've got put together? Bit of brewing company,
Podcast.
sure, I would love that.
the White Roo.
I'd love the brewing company up there. When I get back from this Europe trip, because this one's been in the planning for a little while. Once I get back from there, I'll have a clean slate again, and
Didn't say no, Gav.
I'll be hungry. I'll be hungry for.
That wasn't a no.
Maybe we can do a shared banner for you.
That wasn't a no.
But yes, we've got to go back to Bob being good for us.
No, I was just saying. Look, I mean,
Pronounce his last name.
Nieswander. I think it's German for you will do what I say.
Nieswander. It's Nieswander.
Nieswander, is it? No, look.
Hey, Bob.
The way that he looks after the sponsors and talks to them is crucial for our club. And, you know, like, he's not afraid to go and speak to people. You know, like this balloon organisation, Dallas Ashley said, you know, this mob's looking at talking
That's
to us.
fantastic. That's great.
Bob goes and gets some bloody platinum sponsorship to go on the fence, you know.
That's cool, isn't it? Well done, Bob.
You know, so I know he grinds my gears and he probably keeps me up at night, but especially when he speaks to the residents. But, you know, the work that he does for our sponsorship, he's just out there selling it. Absolutely out there.
Do you know what?
Sorry, should we mention where the signs come from?
Sure.
SOS. Signs?
SOS, SOS safety signs.
Thank you, Jason.
Jason Wright.
Great man, Jason.
Jason and Chris, mate,
Just need to do the honour board.
they are part of this this podcast here tonight.
No.
They're great guys. If you go down there and have a look at their shop, it's fantastic. You walk in there and it's like Christmas. It's so good.
For those that aren't aware as well, I'll just quickly mention, like, Bob's awesome with our sponsorship. Tested an awesome job, you know, prior to that,
Yes.
and then still helps the club enormously. Liv was terrific with our events. This year we got Dallas, so that's great. Dallas has come back to the club to help us. And
Cross-check doors.
Christensen's doing our canteen and bar again.
Prepared for
amazing
landing.
for her to come back. You know, then you got Cherie doing her finances as normal.
We've got a hostage on the plane.
We do. I think his name's Bob Nieswander. And you know, and then we got Andy Weeks doing our juniors. Gav's obviously doing maintenance and his grounds as he does, and fantastically. And then we've got finally Scotty Coxhill. Unbelievable what he's done.
Scotty the legend.
Scotty Coxhill. I've been with him for 4 seasons now.
He's a good
and
bloke.
He's
a good bloke.
unbelievable fella.
Heart of gold.
Heart of gold, man. And I just love Scotty. So he's our secretary again. And then we got
The beauty of Scotty is you can imagine just leaning on his bottom. You know, he's such a nice guy. So
beg your pardon.
love you, Scotty.
No, I love Scott. He's been there for me in a lot of tough times as well, and he's been really, you know, really awesome. So, and he keeps, you know, we say if I'm Batman, he's Robin. So we've been doing this together for 4 years, and then you got Maddie Burns, who's come on as women's director, which is a fantastic thing as well to get Burnsy on the board. So pretty good board this year. I think it's a good mixture.
Solid, yes.
And it's very much, Gav, I would say, a good experience as well. So
Looking forward to this year and what everyone's got to offer. And without giving anything away on the board, we don't agree on everything, and we have a few discussions, and not everyone wins, but as far as or you and I
The
disagree
players
on
and
something
the
other
people
day.
win, don't they?
Yeah, yes. As long as the club wins, it's not about getting everything your own way, but everyone gets to have their say, and we put things forward and different ideas, and yeah.
yes, we do. Yeah. But it's and it's about the number one question, I think, is just got to be how does this make the place better?
Okay,
I've got an idea. How does this make the
There's
place better?
one thing for Bob that I do want to close on that was brought up probably 4 or 5 years ago was the remember we did all the paving behind the dugouts.
Yes.
so that we could get all the luggage and all the bags out the back with a
Ding, 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 ding.
prepare for landing, to get everything under cover so it doesn't get wet,
Yes.
and it allows the boys to walk up and down the dugout and girls and have that freedom in there. It was done. Can't release the purse a little bit and just get that done. But it's only a very small thing to probably take the edge off Bob as well. That give him a win. Give him a win and just let him finish it off.
Yeah, I didn't know about that.
That was his dream.
Did you know about
that was his dream. And yeah, we used to
so-
drive. We used to drive the truck over all those, just to my truck, just to flatten it all out and make sure that it was all flat without getting in something else. And that all got paved. We got all that done, and would be nice just to.
Paved without approval.
I know there's a bit of stormwater there, but fucking hell, let's get over the Cheetah Gully Council.
So yes,
Sometimes that
there's
stresses me out.
sprinklers there, and yeah, it's not just straightforward. Yeah, trying to keep everyone happy, and then I thought the cost was
Let him win a
not
couple.
reasonable.
Let him win a couple.
He's got new grandstands going in.
The upper one can be done though, can't it?
No, that's probably the worst one actually.
That's got
With
more
the
sprinklers there,
So
hasn't it?
the sprinkler's closer to the dugout, so that needs to be moved. And one thing at a time.
You're making Gav's life harder.
Oh, I just want to see Bob win a few so that he's
Well, he's getting grandstands, Ash.
No. He's put in for
Well, he's
it.
put in for the
Bleachers.
grandstands. Yeah,
where?
At a cost.
on both
at a cost.
diamonds, Ash.
Why not get some tables there in the trees where I said before about the stainless steel ones, or the galv with the nice timber top where you can just sit your beers up the top there
Yeah,
and say, well done, umpire, you're doing a great job.
well, that'll be you.
Boys, we're nearly not far off 3 hours. We're 2 hours, 41 now. It's going to kick my ass tomorrow. So what I want to do, just in closing, is I'm going to tip my hat to Gav, and I'm going to say, Gav Payne, thanks for coming here tonight, and thanks for what you do at the club. I'm in and around. I'm not up there quite as much as I used to, but you make a lot of people's lives very happy. So congratulations for your effort, and keep giving those people that fun part of life that you can give them.
Thank you. I don't do it all alone. Rob Walsh is a big help.
Thanks, Rob.
Tim Pingilly's doing work around the club, and he did go back to Gola, but he's come back. So
He's a good boy.
Been in touch and helped me out again this year, so that's a good help. I've got other guys.
Thanks, boys. Keep going, Gav.
Yeah, there's other people doing work around the place. It's also being competitive. It's not just being competitive in the game on the field. You're being competitive, having a better ground, a better club than other clubs. I wanted it to be a place that people wanted to come to. They want to play here. And now I just need them to fear coming here to play our game against our club.
They fear our family.
Yes.
Yes.
But enjoy playing on the ground. Enjoy coming here, but fear playing us would be my goal. Yes.
Here.
And it became a passion. I found an interest in the grass and mowing when I was doing the grants, because we were considering having to replace the lawnmower. So I started to understand a bit of difference about lawnmowers, and that got me drawn in. And then Roger had to step away, and so I took his spot, and I was going to help out. And thanks to Alex Christensen, who had done work before, I was going to help him out. But you can only do so many years of it. And he'd done his fair share. So
The surname has gone a long way through the club for sure.
It has, yes.
I hope that the struggles that have been there for many years with different people as well, and where we're at right now is that I hope for all the effort that you've put in and others that you get rewarded one day with a stadium that represents what it's all about, and it's about the people. It's about the game.
Yeah.
And if I can see that in my time and I don't get gnawed unless I win a fair bit of money, I would love to see that facility there is built once and it's built properly. I don't want to see a fucking shit in the car park. That's just bullshit. And I talk that way because I know that we can do better. I don't want a little grant that's going to take away one toilet, like we've got in the male toilet. And we had 2 toilets there before, now we got 1. Come on, let's get what we want. Let's honour the people before us and where we are today. And for the likes of Roger Prime, I would love to see that stadium be built, and I'd love it to be called the Roger Prime Stadium one day, and hopefully we can do that in our lifetime and honour the great man. I'm going to close it off tonight. Shaun Evans, thank you very much.
Can I just say
course
one
you
more thing?
course you
Happy birthday to Michaela on Friday.
How old, Michaela?
21.
No, but I won't give it away.
No, I wouldn't. No, don't do that.
You can't do that.
Gav,
Don't do that.
thank you very much.
Thanks for having me, Ash. Been a
Shaun
pleasure.
Evans,
Thank you, sir.
thank you
you, Shaun.
again.
Been
And,
good.
Thank you, Gavin. Yeah, love you, mate.
We'll,
Thanks for the words.
We'll close this one up tonight. Thanks, guys, for coming over. It's always a pleasure on Friday night to have you all here, and
Good to spend it with you two blokes. Been awesome.
love you both.
Oh, yeah.
This has been a Mill Road Studios production. We'd like to honour Gav Payne and Mr. Shaun Evans. 30th of August, 2024. Thanks, guys.
Thank you.